escape. When you're walking on the moon, walking on the moon, chase your happy place. It will change your groove when you're dancing on the moon, dancing on the moon. When we dance again, all our trouble seems to fade away. This is how I feel when you take me to some levels that I've never been. When we dance again, all our trouble seems to fade away. This is how I feel when you take me to some places that I've never been. When we dance again, that I've never been, that I've never been, that I've never, ever, never, ever been. Walking on the moon. One moment to escape. When you're walking on the moon, walking on the moon, chase your happy place. It will change your groove when you're dancing on the moon, dancing on the moon. When we dance again, all our trouble seems to fade away. This is how I feel when you take me to some levels that I've never been. When we dance again, all our trouble seems to fade away. This is how I feel when you take me to some places that I've never been. When we dance that I've never been, that I've never been, that I've never, ever, never, never been.
Welcome along, ladies and gentlemen here. Good evening and welcome to LPL Pro Rainbow Six Siege. We're here with week number 4 and we're so excited to bring you some more games. My name is Matt Smiros, and of course I'm lucky enough to be joined by Mr. Constantine here again, aka Cthulhu. Now before we jump into anything, guys, just want to be giving you a heads up about one of tonight's matches. Unfortunately, Auglis have had to pull out of the rest of the league, so because of that, PC419 will be winning by default, moving on in the bracket, and unfortunately Auglis will be leaving us for the remainder of the league. So Because of that, we're only going to have one match tonight, and it's going to be a good one. But we get into that just a little bit because Constantine, we're going to talk about last week.
Yes, last week was absolutely a banger of a week. We had two really close-up matchups. First up was Team Sinister versus Bizarre, and that map, and whole matchup actually for that matter, was kind of initially being predicted that it's going to be in favor of Bizarre, but two subs actually pulled out some really nutty plays.
Yeah, I mean, we got some great plays from a lot of people, actually.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, just to name a few, Fisher guy definitely pops off.
JCZ.
Yeah, JCZ was a great player coming in. I mean, even Serum had some of those as well. So that was a fantastic one. Following that, though, we had Skyfire then taking on Bance Gaming. Now, this one went the distance, but some of the matches maybe not so close.
Yeah, well, all of the matches were a trade, really, between the two teams, because Skyfire initially took the Bance pick, which was 7-3. Then Bance took Skyfire's pick, which was 7-4, and then the third map resulted in Skyfire's pretty much domination in 7-3. So overall, 2-1 in favor of Skyfire was a pretty close matchup, I gotta say.
All right, well, let's take a look at those results one more time. Team Sinister taking out the 2-0 against Bizarre, and then, of course, Skyfire taking out the 2-1 against Bance Gaming. And so, of course, that's going to leave us with a whole new bracket. So let's take a look at how things are looking. Of course, Team Sinister moving pretty far along the winners bracket. And then, of course, you've got down the bottom there, Bizarre moving on to play against Skyfire.
Yeah, Skyfire Bizarre, I reckon, is going to be quite a good matchup, honestly, because both of those teams, they have quite some aggressive plays and some unpredictable plays, and I'm genuinely quite curious about that matchup.
Well, you're going to have to wait 1 week for that one, because tonight you can see it all the way up in the winners bracket. It is the Ferocity matchup. It's Ferox versus Oddity. Now, this matchup is going to be real fun because the winner moves on to play against Team Sinister.
And the loser will also get to play against quite a big team as well. That will be PC419. So no matter what, both of those teams will get quite a tough opponent in their next matchup.
I mean, it's going to be a pretty awesome one. It's almost like a lose-lose situation for the teams, but that said, keeping that second life in the winners bracket is probably the way to go.
That would be much more preferable. But yeah, Ferox versus Oddity, honestly, I am extremely excited about this matchup, just for the sheer fact how close this can be and how many... There's a few very interesting storylines building up here.
Yeah, and it's going to be real exciting to jump right into them. But before we do, we did mention that we talked to some of the players before the match tonight. So let's kick things off with, I believe it's Oddity actually first. No, actually, it's Ferox. It's Ferox, and we asked them about Oddity, about their match today, and whether they're going to change anything in their playstyle to adjust it to them. And real interesting coming out of here, because they're talking about having nothing to lose. Yeah,
the squad itself kind of unofficially disbanded, but they are still playing through and through. But going into the matchup, just in general, with that mentality of nothing to lose is a scary thing, and that has been proved throughout the whole of the history of Rainbow Six competitive scene. And they, even saying that final sentence, on defense you may be seeing some unconventional setups from us.
I'm excited for that.
Please give me all of those, like, juicy, just the most obnoxious, the most wildest strats. I live for that thing, really.
Yeah, just give us one of those picks that makes your heart stop when you see it come out during the first phase. But of course, we did also talk to Oddity as well. We asked them pretty much the same question, just about Ferox. And they come out and say that they're going to continue to play their own style. Yeah. But of course, that they also mentioned that Ferox rely heavily on their intel.
So they are going to make some amends, maybe bringing more of Mutant Mozzie combo. Maybe we'll be just seeing just a general lineup. But what interesting is to me is the fact that they did mention at the end was that at the end of the day, we got here by playing our own game. So why would we change that for anyone? Which is a little bit interesting to me, just for the sheer fact that could this be where they get maybe overly confident against the Ferox?
I mean, I've got a lot of respect for that last sentence, because they're not just flat out saying we're never going to change to play against any team. It's more that they're going to play what they're good at, and if they've got to change a few small things for specific teams, like maybe their intel, then they'll do that. But you know, they're not going to completely overhaul the team or anything. But let's take a look at the teams here. First up, it's going to be Oddity. It's going to be Angmo, Mims, Nasty, and I mean, out of the corner of my eye, I can see you real excited for this one. Hills is going to be joining the roster tonight, and Sogs, and then Primal. All right, but Constantine, why is Hills so excited?
Right, so Hills has some history in the competitive scene within ANZ, because he was a part of the original Acme roster, who are now Pittsburgh Knights in the ESL Pro League, and he is quite a player, I gotta say. From my memory, he did see quite a fair few highlights, so his addition into the Oddity roster is definitely quite a big one.
All right, well, let's take a look at his opponents. It's going to be Team Ferox coming in, and this lineup also looking pretty strong on a hot streak here. Vladdy, Stick, Deptra, Otter, and Steffi T. Now, this lineup coming up against Oddity, how are they looking coming in here?
Honestly, they have been so far showcasing us some really good maps, some really good strats, and some not so good strats. So with them saying that they got nothing to lose, really, I'm quite curious, really, about how they're going to approach each and every map, because I have, you know, it's that kind of, that's like tingle somewhere, just
a little tingle?
A little tingle telling me that there might be just 3 maps.
It might be 3 maps, all right. Well, keen for that one. Keen for it to go all of the way here and get a real tight series. Ferox, nothing to lose coming into this one. So let's take a look at the maps that they're going to be playing on here today. Now, I believe Ferox picked the first map, which is going to be Villa. Following that, Oddity will be picking up Bank. And then the deciding map will be Clubhouse if we get there. And, you know, that brings up something good. Do you actually expect us to go to a 3rd map here?
I honestly think, yeah, we might just see a 3rd map, just for the sheer fact that Villa is one of those maps where Ferox can go absolutely nuts about how well can they take some of their strats. Whereas Bank, 99% of the teams already know how to really approach it. And then that 1% would really know maybe some more out there kind of strats to approach. So this could be a bit more organized map for Oddity to play, but Clubhouse is where the main clash, where you still see some of the strats being used up that very rarely see light, really.
Okay, well, look, what I want to ask you now is Ferox picking Villa.
Yeah.
You say there's a few fun things you can do in that.
Yes.
Give me, what are we going to see? Like, what can we possibly see here that maybe Ferox might pick up?
Well,
because I mean, there's certain operators that are now available.
Yes, actually, that is actually another good point. Yeah, well, Kali and Wamai actually are now out of the quarantine, which is also quite exciting news.
Freed from prison.
Free from the prison, yeah. And honestly, with the introduction of Wamai to the defense, I reckon some of the maybe downstairs holds in the keg section, or well, just at the bottom floor, could actually be much more viable for, say, pulse roaming around, or maybe just in general, just having like some really heavy offsite roams, and we might just be seeing, say, if Oddity ends up reading into that, we might just be seeing some flat-out rushes from them. So, hey, who knows? For what it's worth, Ferox did say that they wanted to get extra aggressive on Oddity, so we might just see that.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen, I think, 2 proper rushes throughout the entire league.
Yeah.
One of them worked, or one of them did not work. In fact, they got mowed down almost immediately. So, I mean, it's a risky strategy, but Ferox are talking about playing these risky strategies. So maybe we do see it coming out from them. But here we are into match number 1, Oddity versus Ferox. And let's kick things off here with the bans.
Yeah, so Villa is one of those maps where you generally would want to ban out maybe one of the hard breaches as well, but uh-oh.
We may be resetting this one, I reckon.
Yeah, we'll see him come back. But Thatcher to be banned out is something that we've seen quite frequently, especially on Villa, considering that he allows quite some easy breaches here.
Yeah, it took a while to come up with that Thatcher ban, maybe thinking about it for a little while. Could also just be a result of the DC. I mean, maybe just waiting for that. But
yeah,
I mean, it's the only thing we've got to go off so far. But Thatcher, thinking about it, maybe they had something else coming out, and they just last second decided, all right, Thatcher's good enough.
Yeah. Well, with Thatcher, we will be also seeing Capitao to be actually banned out because, well, Capitao is going to be quite powerful here for, say, denying the breach denial. So that double negative, you could say.
Yeah, no, that always works. But the important thing as well is that it's just 2 bans that we always see. Pulse, though, is not one that we always see.
Okay, so Pulse being out is certainly going to hurt the fact how Ferox might get aggressive on it, because he's quite crucial for some of the roam games, and he's generally being seen, as of recently, on the bottom floors of Villa. So this time we might be just seeing something across, like, say, Vigil maybe to be picked instead for Rome, but let's see who's going to be the last one, and it is going to be Mirror, so, okay. So probably out of those 4 bans, we might just be seeing the 2 conventional ones are going to be the Mirror and Thatcher, because Capitao is kind of there on the borderline of being now a conventional ban, but also certainly something where Oddity probably done their homework.
Yeah, now, all right, well, let's jump right into it here. It is very close to starting this series here. It's the only one tonight, so we're hoping it goes all the way to map number 3. That'd be pretty exciting as well. But coming into it, Ferox number 1 seed. they are playing real risky. So first pick on the operators here. I don't see anything too crazy coming out from these guys. Will they pill in our leg?
I mean, even with the more conventional choices of the operators, you can still see some wild decisions, because for Ferox, well, they have the intel denial, which a whole lot of coordinated teams heavily rely on. They have, I believe,
bombs that they can.
no, they don't have the breach denial, well, apart from mute, really, and that is the delay. And, well, Valk and Jaeger is certainly going to be quite a good addition, really, with their own info gathering. So, but on the other side of the offense, really, well, the only thing is we don't really see any general hard breaches. We don't see Thermite. There's no Havana, even though both of them are out there and not banned. And instead, it's a wild Maverick.
Yeah, Maverick popping up is a bit of a
10
surprise.
seconds remaining.
So maybe a bit of a slower move coming out from Oddity, but that said, Ferox, they were all set up, they're all ready to go, they're all ready to welcome some guests here in the first map.
And you can even see the fact that this is their first step to the unconventional quote-unquote defense, is the fact that they did pick the cafe and dining, kitchen and dining for the defense as their first round, as it's considered more of a, say, secondary or tertiary site.
Okay, let's move into it. Oddity moving into the building, looking to make their initial entry, see if they can pop a few heads on the way in. But Ferox seem to be sitting pretty far back from them at the moment, so probably won't find anything too much. Just going to be moving in, clearing, making sure everything's good. Put a few bullets into the room, and, well, if they don't hit anyone, then you're all good to move in. Or if they do hit someone, then maybe you are also good to move in.
What is also interesting here is the fact that Mims is actually just almost decided to jump into the into the small room there, because from there on he could have had a really nice long angle onto the site, which could have been quite crucial here for Oddity's initial momentum, but he just prompts to go for a long angle and just play a bit more passively, which is a pretty decent idea, all things considered.
Yeah, it's taking Oddity a little bit of time to work out what's going on. I think they finally got it, finally worked out everything, and now starting to make their move. And what's going on here?
Yeah, I keep forgetting the fact that Maverick has now the frag grenade, so he's going to be extra deadly there, and well, we'll be getting rid of actually the mute charge, but oh no, there's actually one more there. We'll be denying the drone, which could be quite crucial here to deny even further the overall push from the offense.
Yeah, and that push has got to start soon as well. With only just over a minute to go. They're still struggling to get by some of these rooms, and like you said, losing some of these drones as well, so it's getting a bit rough. They're resorting to just singular pixel holes in the wall, but we may be approaching our first kill.
Angmo is getting really close out here. He's completely clueless about the position of Jaeger, and will be paying for that, so Stick is getting a fantastic early frag. Will be making things much better here, as well as Vladdy actually getting a kill with the gas grenade. So overall, this is a good beginning, but Hills has something to say about that, as he is on a roam clear now.
Yeah, Hills has been looking to turn things back around, but with only 3 members, I'm not sure if Oddity have the manpower to get it done. 30 seconds to go. They've got to start making the move, and Ferox, they've kept pretty much everything at the moment. They've got all the tools in the bag to keep Oddity away and just run that clock all the way down to 0.
And Oddity already ran out of all the breaching utility, so they need to go in just for the sheer push, but it seems that Mims actually has some firepower in him, but Azofia will get shut down pretty quickly, and right now Ferox are having a really nice time defending it all. All of these angles are just coming down to fruition, and just all up to Hills to try to clutch this up with barely any utility there.
Yeah, Oddity did give it back a little bit, but Ferox, in the end of the day, will take round number 1 here with a strong defense and essentially just waiting for Oddity to come in. Oddity, they took a bit of time, but I feel like even with all the time in the world, Ferox should have been able to hold that one out.
I gotta give another notice here. We finally have the new spectator UI here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Which does give us quite some good insight as well onto some of the pushes. And even then, we could see very clearly how lackluster the utility side of the attack was right before that final attempt at the push was happening.
Yeah, there was just pretty much no chance of getting through with just that many or that much utility. So it was real rough from that point onwards. So a good opening from Ferox as well to hold them out. Put themselves in such a great position there for the defense as well. And so the operator lineup's actually changing a fair amount there. coming out, so maybe we want to touch on that.
Yeah, Sogs was getting a little bit undecisive on that final choice in the 6th pick, but bringing in an Ashe, and nonetheless it's a Tomb Raider Ashe as well.
Finally.
Finally, yeah. Certainly could be quite efficient here, considering that already did lack a little bit on that fragging power, but maybe this time it will be a complete turnaround there.
Yeah, I feel like also just having different ways to get into a building that's not Maverick would be quite nice. I feel like they kind of struggled on some of the breaches, getting by, and then following that, actually getting the drones around the corner.
5 seconds to go.
So if they had a few more entry points, then
Yeah, if they had multiple entry points, it would have been definitely Oddity's round for the taking. But yeah, here we are though. After the first round, it was quite an unfortunate one, but maybe this time having a bit more just general breaching utility might actually be the way to go about it.
I like how careful Sogs is being. Like, he knows Ferox are gonna maybe try and spawn kill him, try to do something a little dirty in one of these rounds, so he's being careful, he's pre-firing, even from the spawn. And so now, once more, we move into the next round. Oddity gonna be trying in essentially a similar approach. Moving in, clearing the rooms a little bit quicker this time, I'd say.
Yeah, this is a good start here for Oddity, as taking the initial ground control off that first momentum, certainly what you need right now here, especially for them. And for AVG push, you need to cover quite some ground to ensure that you won't get flanked, because otherwise you're in for a whole lot of trouble.
Okay, Oddity still checking these corners, making good progress for time, moving towards the bomb sites. As we can see though, Ferox are just hanging out back by those bomb sites, and Oddity moving as a unit here.
That triple stack in Astro would have been quite scary if somebody ran into them.
Yeah.
Imagine just you just being unable to decide where do you want to even peek on, who do you want to shoot
Just
first.
split all your shots up between all three of them. That way you can kill them all at the same time.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
That's definitely not a pro tip, by the way, guys. Do not do that. One of the Goyo shields does go down, and so everyone's going to have to sit around and wait as the flames dissipate, but Deptra are not going to be waiting at all. Neither is Steffi. Either is the defenders pick up 2 kills, and it's just Ferox all over the place. Deptra picking up the next one as well. And they've essentially won themselves around here. 2 attackers remain.
It's scary. Steffi already has some even more impact onto the round. Nasty to go down, and now all up to Sogs, the Ashe player, but will be styled on by Stick. My goodness, Ferox, just that was just on a whole new level.
Yeah, it was nice, slow and steady, and then yeah, no, he knew what he was doing. He was having a good time. But yeah, no, Ferox, that was far more one-sided than the first round, and the first round was pretty well in their favor. So this is maybe saying something. Maybe we might see a very quick first map from Ferox. They feel very comfortable here.
Look, I wouldn't be surprised if that will be the case, honestly, because so far Oddity has been making that one big mistake where they telegraph their push very clearly. That's one. And two, well, for the second at least round, they were all on a single side. They didn't really go for a two-sided push. And well, that just meant for Ferox, well, they just needed to concentrate it only on a single push, really.
Yeah, so Ferox, I mean, they found a way to defend against that pretty easily. So
yeah.
The question is, I mean, Oddity. Oh, okay. Oddity have a few more rounds to give it a different go.
Yeah.
Try and do some 2 flanking pushes, or maybe, dare I say it, 3. But of course, we'll see if that's actually what they do here as we go into the next round. I feel like Ferox would be ready for something like that, but
Look, sorry, the viewers in Twitch chat probably can't, well, not probably, they definitely can't see me, me smiling and giggling, but right now Ferox picked probably the most unconventional site on Villa right now.
all right, tell us why it's so unconventional.
Because you do require to have quite some positioning up above, and you need to keep full control of the AVG for you to successfully defend the living room and library. And well, whilst you do have to split your whole lineup in between 2 floors, you're going to have some really ridiculously nasty angles to be held. So right now for Oddity, they need to go for a top-down clear no matter what. Otherwise, if they will attempt to ignore the top hold, well, they're just going to fall into yet another trap.
Well, they are starting to climb up the building. They may be looking to move in from the top. And like you said, hopefully that's what they're looking to do, because it'll work out pretty well for them. But that said, we'll see how it goes as Ferox They're already pretty well positioned, ready to hunker down and just anchor up. And again, welcome Oddity into the building.
Welcome them indeed, because also we do see the 3-man hold up above. So they did dedicate most of their manpower, Ferox here, but curious how aggressive or how passive are they going to be playing for the first half of the round, because otherwise we might be seeing a quick end of that very round as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what we saw last round, right? I mean, Oddity were careful right until the very end, and then Ferox mowed them down like it was Sunday morning, and they had to trim the lawn.
Yeah.
I didn't really finish that one very well, did I?
Look at that band wave, holy.
Yeah, well, get out of the server, mate. No cheaters here.
Interestingly enough, this time Oddity did actually possibly learn from their mistake from the previous round. This time they are splitting their push onto the ground floor and the top floor, so right now this could actually very well work out. That is, if they're going to have an opening kill for themselves going first.
I'm just a little worried about the firefights, is that Ferox have been doing so well in them. Yeah, it's only been 2 rounds, but been very one-sided rounds, so question is, even with the flank, are they going to be able to find the angles to do it? So push starting to come out as well. Not going to come out now, as they have to wait out the gas, but should be coming out pretty much after this one, unless the gas does follow. Doesn't look like it though.
Ooh, Nasty nearly finding that angle onto Smoke. Could have actually taken his head off, but I don't think he saw him. But now there is some roam up above, and that is what Oddity might run into some issues there, really.
Yeah, well, they've got to do something pretty soon, and, well, that's not what you want to be doing, being taken down immediately by Oda. And so Ferox, again, in a great position, and he's going to be trying to mow him down the whole way as well, and, he does go down. Oda picking up another one. Ferox, I mean, even with a few traded back, and I say a few, I actually mean one. It's a 4v1 right now, and poor old Hills, the star of the show today, apparently, has got to get a miracle done here.
And this is the beauty, this is what I've been talking about right at the beginning of the round as well. If you don't take control of the top floor, you will pay for it very dearly. And well, that is exactly what Ferox might do, but with all the pings, all the shots from above, that is not going to happen, Hills. I'm sorry, mate.
Yeah.
Yes, Ferox will be grabbing the round number 3.
Had to go in there and clear not just one room, but, you know, the floor above it as well. And against multiple opponents. You got a few down, and, you know, maybe we had a bit of hope, but the clock was also pretty low, so pretty rough for him.
Yeah, it was quite a rough patch, but, I mean, gotta give it to Ferox. They came in just not really caring about much how they're gonna hold it out. I'm a bit confused about what is happening there, but nonetheless, it gives us some time to talk about the 3 rounds that so far occurred, just because, well, first of all, it was a very dominant set of 3 rounds from Ferox, albeit that the last round probably got a little bit close maybe on the man count, but...
Yeah, for a few moments, it still felt like Ferox was still winning every fight.
Yeah, it was still through and through Ferox's pace there and just overall control of the map, but it just shows how, like the first 2 rounds, that was as unpredictable, as aggressive as Ferox really probably wanted Villain to go, because that second round was probably the most dominant that we so far saw.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. They just completely tore them apart.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it was all within basically one fight because, like you said, Oddity were all kind of moving together. And so, you know, one side is probably going to win it pretty heavily as soon as they get the first kill.
Well, you can't really blame them for moving all together at the same time because you usually do need some kind of coordination and refragability. But the way how they ended up approaching it was essentially 4 separate 1v1 firefights where really the defenders had all of the drops, all of the element of surprises really, and Oddity didn't really have a whole lot of things to respond onto, but nonetheless they had a good idea about how to approach that very push. So if they ended up taking that 90-degree hallway control earlier, then it would have been a completely different outcome because they would have been able to pressure the Aviator and Gaming as well at the same time, and that is already quite a challenge for the defense.
All right, guys. Well, as you may have noticed, we had a few disconnection issues, so as we get the players into the lobby, we're going to go to a quick break and then come back with the rest of the series. と待ってください。
This is just clinical.
So, you're a new recruit to Rainbow Six Siege. You're about to join one of the greatest gaming communities out there, but you may be wondering, what is Rainbow Six? Rainbow Six is a game where multiplayer is at the center of the experience, focusing on gameplay that is just the right mix of tactics, destruction, and unique heroes that we call our operators. This video will help you learn everything you need to know before your first steps in Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six features 3 different team deathmatch online game modes: Hostage, Secure Area, and Bomb. At the beginning of each round, there will be time for preparation. Defenders will be able to set their defenses with a variety of tools and gadgets. Attackers can send drones to recon the map, locate threats, objectives, and prepare their attack. But whether attacking or defending, knowing which operator to choose will have a big impact on your game. Operators are truly the heroes of Rainbow Six Siege, choosing amongst dozens of highly trained operatives from all over the world. Each operator is specialized in either offense or defense, owning tools and gadgets unique to them. Some operator gadgets allow them to set traps, others excel at breaching. Mastering each skill and gadget will be key to your survival. But choosing your operator is only a fraction of the equation, as an effective team is more than the sum of its parts. In Rainbow Six, you're only as good as your team. So, play with your friends or let the matchmaking pick teammates for you. While there's no respawning and no second chances, once your operator is down, you can still exploit security cameras or remaining player drones to help your team achieve victory. Because each environment brings its own challenges, working, planning, and executing together with your team will be key to your success. There are a variety of maps to choose from, with more being released all the time. No two are alike, so you'll need to adapt your strategy, tactics, and choose your operators accordingly. Some will force close encounters. As for others, mastering medium and long-range engagement will be key. In Rainbow Six Siege, you have to always mind your surroundings. Environmental destruction is core to the game experience. When defending, you'll have to take into consideration that windows, walls, and even ceilings can be breached. So reinforce your position and be ready for anything. Rainbow Six Siege is constantly evolving, with free updates, new maps, and operators. But it's more than a game. It's a thriving community with 25 million players and counting. And the community is more alive than ever. Rainbow Six is a game built for gamers with a competitive spirit who won't back down from a challenge. And now, it's your turn to play.
Welcome back, my lovely viewers, to LPL Pro Rainbow Six Siege. Apologies for leaving you guys in the break there, but we did have to get all of our players back into the lobby after we had a bit of a crash. Some of you might have noticed that it was like 5 players that disconnected at once, so something's going on, but luckily we are able to get the match exactly back to where it was, which was 3 rounds to Ferox.
Yeah, 3 rounds in a row for Ferox, and those were very dominant for Ferox, even with the last round being a bit closer on the man count, but it was through and through still dictated by Ferox because they were able to defend the top floor of the AVG that is quite flawlessly, I gotta say. And well, from there on, really, they didn't allow Oddity to make any further pushes at all whatsoever. But for now, it is Trophy and Statuary, probably the most conventional out of all of those sides so far. Will be chosen here by Ferox on the round number 4.
Ferox have been doing something different pretty much every round. I mean, even down to their operators, right? They've been changing up at least some of them every single round.
Yeah, you will be seeing them continuously switching things around for each one of the sites, still busting out probably even the old strat book maybe.
Yeah,
but gotta give it to them. They have been rolling pretty much flawlessly on some of their peaks and some of their timings, really. It was really well coordinated.
Yeah, it feels like a real uphill battle right now for Oddity, and so we've got plenty more rounds to do it. They're going to have to start coming back now if they want to come out of this half as the attackers with a decent scoreline, at least a 3-all. Otherwise, I mean, like you mentioned before, coming out of a half with 4-2 as the 2 kind of sucks.
Yeah, 4-2 is certainly going to be the less kind of favorable scoreline for Oddity here, but it's still, you can come back from that one. It's even with that kind of scoreline, you are going to go onto a bit more of a defender-sided second half for them. So for Oddity, I reckon they wouldn't be really too bothered unless they will get to, say, I don't know, 5-1 scoreline. Now that is where the concerns are going to start being reasoned.
Yeah, there's where you start to sweat just a little bit. But,
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen teams kind of come back from that, though. So who knows? But we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a few rounds later.
Yeah, now here's another thing. For the third time, actually, make it fourth time, actually. Fourth time in a row, already making very quick, very swift initial entry into the building. But then they end up stalling out on a fair few times when the first firefight occurs. Now, main question being here is, can they actually find the initial frags onto the defenders, or whether it's going to continue being a Ferox game through and through?
Well, I think that, yeah, no, that's the biggest thing for them to do is just because every single firefight, I mean, it's only been 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Every single round, they haven't got the first kill. It's always been Ferox picking up the first one. Most of the time, their kills are not traded back either.
Yeah.
So we do have to look for Oddity to get those good peaks, the ones where they can pick a kill and get away with it.
Angmo actually was getting pretty close to Vladdy, who was playing on Bandit here, and does actually find a nice shot. So amidst all the sound cues, he actually does manage to find the first shot, and that is a good beginning here for Oddity.
Well, that's exactly what we're looking for from them. They get a kill, get out of there alive, get away with it scot-free, and you're taking out Vladdy, which is a great start. However, it is kind of flipped back on them. And as Adeptra picks that one up for Ferox, making it another even fight. And now we're down to 1:20. Ferox, Oddity are going to have to start moving, although Hills is going to make that a lot easier.
I gotta give it to Adeptra. I loved how he went initially for that shoulder peek, and then the moment he kind of confirmed that there is a person actually peeking him and holding a long angle, well, he just went in and got the pre-fire shot. Nicely done. But Oda, my goodness.
A little cheeky monkey coming into the room and peeking him off. And so now he's going to have that doorway just completely locked down.
Himself back up as well in there, but yeah, 3v3, still very much workable for either one of the parties here, but really with time slowly running out, Oddity might need to go into the push, albeit that they just already managed to make the crouch hole walkable right into the site. So Heels will be probably the person spearheading here.
Yeah, but he's going to have to go through it pretty riskily. Riskily? Yeah, sure, that's a word.
Okay.
He's going to have to go through it. It's just a little dangerous to go through.
He needs a Pokemon.
Yeah, dangerous to go alone. Although that's a different game, actually.
Yeah, well...
Still Nintendo.
Still getting there, but the plan will actually be starting to go down. Hills to be stuck, but C4 will be denying him and forcing him off that plan and off that push. But Angmo is equalizing things up a little bit, 2v2, as the plan will be actually going down. And oh no, Oda, with the shot from what I believe is from below, will be denying the plan.
Oh man, and Oda just brought his team back into that one, keeping it alive for Ferox. A little bit closer there. In that round, but Oddity, I mean, it looks like maybe they can get something done. They've had some good entry frags.
Oh yeah, this was probably by far the closest round that so far we've seen from Oddity comparative to the previous 3 ones that we saw so far. But it's definitely seeming like Oddity are slowly starting to adapt as to how Ferox are playing things around, but the defenders still keeping things nice and fresh and unpredictable.
Yeah, so for Oddity, I mean, it was Aang in that round that really started to bring it back. I mean, he got the first kill.
And then you had Hills.
Yeah, I mean, Hills definitely in there as support, but Aang kept it up, getting the killing blows later on as well. So definitely keep an eye on him to see if he can repeat that performance. So the thing that stands out to me, though, is that Ferox are still losing on some of these trades and still coming back, right? I mean, they lost, I believe it was Vladdy, right at the start of the round, and yet still didn't have to worry about it, right? I mean, it was maybe a little shaky, but it still felt like they were mostly in control with Oda near the end.
Yeah, well, the cool thing about how Ferox so far have been approaching the defense is the fact how they have been pretty much having independent roaming. Because you see so many times where you have, say, two-man roam, but they all dependent on each other, on each other's position, on each other's info gathering. Whereas this time it's just, they didn't care. If one died, well, I'm just going to go and white swing onto the opposite side of the push. And, oh my.
Oh, naughty boy.
Can this be a Kobe? Oh.
And everyone was just somewhere else.
It just landed, yeah. Or maybe it could have actually been shot out, but if that would have landed, that would have been quite a exciting moment there.
Yeah, well, the reason it's exciting is it's a little rare to actually make it work. So for now, Ferox won't get their cheap little free kills at the start of the round. That would have been a disaster for Oddity.
If Oddity ended up falling for it, that would have been quite sad. But nonetheless, it's still all very much workable. Not a single bit of damage been dealt just yet, but now that I've said it, it's probably going to be a frag somewhere around here.
No, that one C4 is going to be the difference, man.
Oh, well, actually, in a fair few cases, it is actually the difference, considering that right now, Ferox are down to 2 C4s really to deny the plant there, and, well, and the smoke. That's it.
Well, I mean, they've been pretty onto it so far in the previous round, so we'll see if it is going to be the difference maker, though. Already pretty quick onto this one, too. Through the wall, tries to pick up the kill down there, too, but doesn't find it, unfortunately. Would have been great to pick that one up.
That's a grenade.
Doesn't find it with a grenade, either.
Yeah, thankfully, Valk, aka Deptra, would actually have the reinforced wall there just to ensure that he would still have that kind of the safety of the reinforcement. So, still in the 5v5, but Valkyrie is now heavily tagged here, and for Deptra, that is not a really good set of news.
Yeah, but is it going to be enough, though? Oddity, you have to start moving in. They've worked pretty hard to get these kills. I mean, Aang has been just all over the place. Aang's, oh no! Hills finds a kill onto Deptra. I mean, it didn't take too much work, but does seal the deal, get the job done.
I like the fact that so far for Odyssey, they have plentiful amount of the flashbangs as well to drain out the either the ADS utilities or just in general just to reinforce their push and just fully disable any of the defenders that they're trying to get out. So, and now this is working fairly well utility-wise, but with 55 seconds left to go, the push will need to start commencing very soon.
Yeah, they're running out of time for sure. Oddity have to start moving in, and they're already under fire. Ferox taking a few shots, and there it is. Getting the next one. Down to 3 defenders, and Ferox. They're going to have to hope for some great gunfights to still pull this round out.
Yeah, Angmo was having some, just an absolutely field day, just mowing down any defenders that tried to rotate back to the side of Rome. And right now, when it's UV5 really well, make it 5v1, things are not looking all well. Steffi's the last man standing, but just like that, Sogs is the one to close things out. So finally a clapback from Oddity with a flawless round there to take the kitchen as, well, Ferox didn't really have a whole lot of chances there.
That felt a whole lot better by Oddity.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of it did come from Angmo and where he opened up those holes and finding members of Ferox. I mean, particularly, I believe, whoever it was in Valk. That was Deptra. Yeah, Deptra. Yeah. Finding Deptra super early, tagging him down to almost no health, making it super easy to take him out later on. Then all the extra angles you get from opening the walls felt great.
Yeah, it certainly was a good position, and that opening into the art room was very much crucial for success of Oddity. So good call there by Angmo, but I'm pretty sure that it would have been all for the droning as well.
I mean, the question now is, can they do it again? Can they keep doing that in other rounds? I mean, sure, it's only one more attack round, unless we go to overtime, but can they get one more win here with that kind of strategy, with that kind of play?
I mean, they know how Ferox approached this. They have the the 3-man hold up above. They had some roam in the case of Deptra, or Oda for that matter. Actually, I believe he was there as well. So they know the general gist of it, but last time we did see them that whole push failed. So maybe putting the whole 5-man push to try to take control of the top floor and then go for the downstairs push maybe will be the good choice here by Austin. So.
I mean, they've got a chance to do it here again on the, like I mentioned, the last round of the first half. Where they're going to get the chance to be on the attacking side. So already, what have you got for us? What can you pull out?
We'll see what exactly that they'll be able to pull out, but pretty sure at this point they're going to have a little bit, pretty much just about similar set of angles, and it's up to Oddity to really read into all of that if that's going to be the good choice here.
Yeah, so same sort of plan coming out from Oddity so far. Although this time they're going to have a little more intel, catching out those electronics, making sure they can find out where they are. This is going to be good against Ferox's lineup, though, is the question. What are they really finding with it?
Scanning.
Well,
Station.
with Ferox's lineup, really, they need to just ensure, well, for Oddity, they need to make sure that they know that there's not going to be a whole lot of roaming, and from there, just start taking control and chipping away at the positioning and cutting off the roam, as Deptra right now might be running solves it. Ooh,
wow.
Getting closer and closer to actually catching a bullet to the head.
Yeah, he basically just drew his outline instead of actually hitting him. So going to be real gutted, not picking up the kill on that. Deptra, though, going to be sighing with relief as he walks away with his life.
That position of Valkyrie is going to be quite dangerous, I reckon, because she can get lured out of there with a few of the stun grenades and frag grenades as well quite easily. But so far it looks like it's going to be a double take onto Valkyrie on the main stairs. But Oda decides to bite back, and that is a good frag onto the IQ. That is the utility denial.
Yeah, and he keeps at least half of his health as well, which is another excellent thing. But it's not enough for him to win the next firefight. Nasty will pick that one up. Now we're back to even sides. Although Oddity, they do have to make that push rather shortly. And they're going to go in, start making at least some of it now. Deptra picking up one kill, but Nasty sends one right back. Oddity, though, their numbers are dropping as Steffi T picks up another one. Ferox, they've probably defended it here again. 2 more attackers to go. They do have a minute, so they can take a breather, but they've got to move in very shortly.
They definitely need to pace themselves here. They need to find those peaks, find those shots, because so far, well, for Ferox, really, they don't really need to get extra aggressive, but it seems that Vladdy is quite thirsty for the blood of his enemies, as there's a shot by Nasty, actually, onto Stick. So to even the man count, which is a good beginning, but again, the top control bites back at you.
Drop the bomb diffuser.
Yeah, and Ferox just winning those fights at the end as well. Just great positions, just waiting there for them to walk in, knowing that the clock's running down. Actually getting a pretty good peek there coming out. So there it is, the end of the first half. Ferox picking up 5 out of those rounds. What a great way to leave the first half. A great way to make a statement. And now I'm worried to see about what they've got coming out on attack. Although, now we get to ask, was that what we were expecting from unconventional defense?
Honestly, yes. This is probably as close as what I've expected. I probably would have been thinking as well about maybe some more of the very aggressive roams, but hey, the way how Ferox really pulled it off, it was pretty much really well, like a well-oiled aggressive machine there. So, curious how will they perform on the attack, considering that, well, if Oddity didn't really have a good offense, they just might have a really nice defense, considering that Villa does allow you quite a fair few playstyles, like Ferox demonstrated to us just now.
It's happened before. I mean, we have seen teams come back from a pretty darn bad half like this one here for Oddity. So,
case in point, the Sinister PC 419, actually. Because we did see, I believe that was a 5-1 or 4-2 scoreline initially on Clubhouse. And then PC 419 ended up making a comeback, and we ended up seeing the overtime.
Yeah. And then they did it again in the next game. Well, the game before, I can't remember. But
yeah, they did both of the maps, actually, I think.
Yeah, they both went to overtime. But here we are. Let's take a look at Ferox and what they look like on attack. What can Oddity pull out on defense? Is it going to be looking different enough to win them from a pretty hard half?
They certainly will need to ensure that they win each and one of those firefights, because, like I mentioned before, playing against a team that has nothing to lose is a scary thing, because they don't care about some of the firefights. They don't care about some of the losses in the round. They're just going to go and frag.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what so far Ferox has been doing.
Yeah, and Ferox, it also looks like they're having a lot of fun with it too.
Yeah.
It feels like it is finally them having a lot of fun. Yeah.
Also, another thing is I gotta mention is the fact that Oddity did mention that they will be trying to adjust slightly the roster of their operators to deny the information. That is actually exactly what they're doing. They got the mute, they got the Mozzie as well, so they will be making sure to keep things nice and toasty here for the attack of Ferox. But is it enough really to deny all the info gathering? Because that IQ is pretty much going to be dealing with all of those mute jammers as well.
Yeah, well, it feels like they're getting some of it done already. I mean, Deptra has been finding so much walking around here.
Seeing all of those positions. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, just can't seem to hit the shot. Maybe hitting the middle. There we go. Finally, that's good. So we're good. But even like looking at the UI overall, so far only. Well,
Oh, what? All right.
okay, that's a vertical angle, I believe. Oh no, wait, that is a flank from below. So that is Angmo's nicely executed flank. But I was just about to say they only lost a single drone, but now they lost another stack of 2 drones, and only they will be just pretty much laying around on the floor. But still, Ferox do have some info gathering utility, but you can see how much they're stalling out now that the IQ is gone.
You know, they can't stall out forever. Of course, without IQ, it's going to be much harder. Deptra did get a lot done before dying, so, I mean, that's always nice. It's always good to feel, but you're still going into a 4v5 here, 30 minutes ago. And now we see fires are being shot, or shots are being fired.
Ooh.
And now it goes down the hallway, and it's going to be Stephanie T picking that one up onto Angmo. So shutting down a key player here for Oddity, evening things up. Ferox may still be able to make it through.
Yeah, right now, Sogs will try to, well, pardon, not Sogs, Mims is going to try to kind of trick this, but I don't think this will be actually the case. Oh, it will actually work. Okay, so that's thanks to Hills. The last bandit charge will actually be used to deny some of those X-Kairos, but I believe, no, there's all of them are gone, and Mims is actually mowing things down, and Hills is actually assisting as well in a 1v3 now situation. All the peaks will be happening, and the P12 will be pretty much shutting down Ferox's push. So 5-2 scoreline now, as first defense of Oddity was quite successful, gotta say.
Man, Mims and Hills right at the end.
Oh yeah, they popped off.
Really pulling out a lot of value there, picking up a ton of kills there. So kicking things off on defense with a really good start, keeping things strong. The breach denial was also really nice. It just really stopped Ferox in their tracks.
Yeah, that was probably the last kind of bit of utility that Ferox tried to utilize to find their openings, but unfortunately for them, that was not the case. Well, meanwhile, for Oddity, it was a really well done job, really. And yeah, once again, props to Mims and Hills for closing this out. 3 and 2 kills, respectively, between those 2 players was pretty much what won Oddity the round.
Okay, well, changing things up a little bit here for Ferox, so their attack may look a little bit different. Coming in here with some different range, just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. They still got the Hibana, they still got most of their previous roster, but instead they are bringing in a Jackal as well. So they don't want the repetition of IQ dying to a roaming Jaeger, so they want to essentially probably accompany IQ with the Jackal just to essentially keep an eye out for any of the pesky roamers, essentially trying to find the first frag.
Yeah, and Deptra also quite a valuable player, so
yeah,
even then you just want to keep him alive.
10 seconds.
Albeit, if you look at the scoreboard overall, Deptra so far is only sitting at 2 kills, whereas it is Oda and Steffi who was actually doing quite a fair bit of work here.
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb.
Or at the very least in this... No, that's not the map. Yeah, it's in this map.
Oda has been doing pretty well.
Yeah, Oda's been feeling real nice on some of the plays.
Definitely carried a lot of the rounds. Maybe they were going to be won by Ferox anyway, but Oda made it look like they were dominating those rounds. So definitely need to keep that guy alive too. Keep an eye on him. Make sure we see what he's going to be doing.
Interestingly enough, Mims still actually hasn't put down his electro claws and on any of the walls, considering that he's got only 2. And overall, for Oddity, well, they so far have so much utility actually just to deny any kind of planned or for that matter any push. Because look at this, 3 C4s, 3 gas grenades, and you have so much breach denial as well in there.
So I mean, what did Ferox do against that?
Oh, for
how are
Ferox,
they gonna
really,
round
they need to gain some control on the ground floor, really, and start taking away all of that breach utility, really, because the moment they take out the Kayet charges and the Bandit charges, well, that's where they might just guarantee themselves the breach, and that's where they're going to need to start challenging those firefights, really.
Well, they have run down the clock a little bit. It's under 2 minutes now. Is there really enough time for them to be able to mess around with all of that? They've got a lot to get done before they move in and take the fights. I don't think they're going to be able to do it for now. So they're going to have to just go in and hope for these firefights and hope they win them.
I mean, so far, once again, we do see a solo push by Deptra, which could work maybe, and that's a big maybe. But for now, oh, look at all that whole lineup of people at the bar, but just won't be fighting any shots. Instead, it is actually Stick that will be fighting the initial firefight, but it did get him down quite low, and that is the second C4 being utilized here by Hills.
Yeah, Hill's picking that one up, so it's going to be evened up for now, but we see some operators being taken down. Deptra finishing the job there, but Hills does trade it back as well. So it is some even fights so far.
Yeah, all those trades coming out between the two teams, it is definitely a very even fight so far, but with the time slowly starting to run out, down to 50 seconds really, they need to start finding those shots and land them for either of the teams if they do want to find their closure. But for Ferox right now, they're only 2 rounds away from winning this map. They really need to close this out as quickly as possible.
Yeah, 40 seconds to go, and the final gas grenade has been launched, and now just run out. So we've got Ferox, they've got plenty of time, 30 seconds to move in, take the 3v3. Deptra a little bit low, but so is Hills on half health. So it begins. They move in, 20 seconds. There's actually another gas grenade going. I was lying before. And so that's going to buy them a whole lot more time. It actually changes everything.
15 seconds
The
remaining.
C4 will be coming out. Will be taking out the Jackal. That is quite a mistimed play. And Mims finding another shot. All up to Oda to try to play this out. With 5 seconds left to go, needs to find 3 kills. But all of them are very close by. And, well, Mims will be closing this out. Already finding yet another round for themselves. And right now, Ferox just can't seem to find any closure really out here.
Yeah, Defender's actually having a great time here on the first map on Villa. So, I mean, the question is Ferox actually going to get any wins here on the attack? I mean, it's only been 2 rounds, so they've got plenty more time to change my mind there. But for now, it is looking like Oddity are just shutting them down at the final few steps of each round so far.
Yeah, well, maybe on Dining and Kitchen, they just might be able to find that extra round for themselves for Ferox, because Dining and Kitchen is usually considered, like I mentioned before, a tertiary site, which can be approached in a variety of ways. You can take from above, you can take the dining side of push and go through the arts as well as the laundry room. So there are a fair few ways that you can approach it. So let's see how Ferox will really approach this, because they need to close. They would really want to close this out as quickly as possible, considering that Oddity is not a team to really kind of screw around with, really.
You don't really want to be in a match longer than you have to be.
Exactly.
Especially when the loser of this match faces a pretty tough one in the loser's bracket.
Precisely, yeah. So you are going to be looking at, well, one way or another, you'll be looking down at a really tough match, no matter what. It's Sinister on one side, a PC41 out on the other.
Yeah, but you'd still rather do it from the winner's bracket.
Yeah, you'd still much rather, have a second chance, but
5 seconds left.
even so, still going to be quite a tough one for either one of those teams.
Locate and defuse a bomb.
Yeah, well, Ferox are looking real strong early on, so I'm curious to see if they can bring that sort of strength back. Curious to see if they can just come back and start dominating again, because they are, like you said, real close to victory. 1 round to secure overtime, 2 rounds to secure the whole map.
And this is their map pick, I gotta also mention. This is Ferox's map pick, so it does show on defense that they've prepped their stuff, but on offense, it doesn't look like they just performing as well or as coordinated, really. It's certainly just, it seems rather sometimes that it's not a 5 stack of people, it's just a stack of just 5 solo players.
5 solo players here with 2 minutes to go. Trying to find something through the floor, but maybe heard some ghosts stomping around above him. Oh, stuck in a bit of trouble there, maybe, but who knows. So Oddity, they're about to welcome Ferox into the house party after a minute has gone down. So Ferox are still
Bomb has been located.
reasonably far from the bomb site. Finally, they have found it, though.
Interesting here is that Oddity did reinforce up above, but they're not holding it in any shape or form. They just use it to drain the utility, and that is actually what could be very well used
Bomb
here, albeit that
located by
Ferox, they don't have any hard breach utility whatsoever, so, well, really, they wouldn't really care about utilizing any breach utility on that.
I feel like they don't mind. They don't mind too much at all. And so from above, Ferox looking down below, trying to find whatever they can,
The attacker's bomb diffuser
getting
has
rid
been
of the
lost.
last little bits of utility here, trying to weaken, soften up Oddity. If they can find any peaks through the floor, that would set up the first push.
I think that's exactly what they actually might be looking for. They just want to find those first few shots and first few kills onto Oddity before they start going for that kind of snowball push. But for now, they seeming to be stalling out really because of that very fact. Because, yeah, they've taken control of up above, but really there's still nothing to play off that, really.
Well, there it is. It's going to be the first kill. It's going to be Hills picking up onto Deptra. Deptra already getting a lot of the IQ work done and dusted, so a man down is always bad, but it could have been worse. But having 2 down is pretty awful.
With all the peaks coming out right now, Mims is just having an absolutely filled day, really. But 4v2 as right now, oh, another peak coming out. Stick just going huge for his team. Getting things closer and closer, but health-wise, things are not looking all swell here because, oh, the line will be going down.
Yeah, he knew what was going on. Right through the wall, he could see. And so Stick with a chocolate bar of health, looking to pull out a miracle. Looking for that Cadbury dream, seeing if he can find something here, but with 4 seconds to go, I feel like he may have his work cut out for him. And so Oddity will pick up round number 9.
So what is it, already 3 rounds in a row?
Yeah, just like Ferox at the start of the match.
Just like Ferox.
Although they kept going.
Yeah, they kept going, but yeah, I don't think that Oddity are planning to stop anytime soon, really. That defense so far is working out really well for Oddity, and if they do manage to equalize things up onto 5 apiece here, things might start to look a little bit dicey here for Ferox, considering that they had such a good advantage to begin the second half with, and just like that, it's all gone.
It's always a hard thought to deal with as well. Like, you do so well in the first half, and just to have them catch up to you, it's so bad, so demoralizing. But they are still ahead.
Yeah, they still have
that 1 round advantage, and so I mean, nothing's changed. They still just need to win 1 round to secure overtime, or 2 if they want to just win the match outright. Although they are running out of rounds to do that.
They do, and the choice of that Hibana for the Staturian trophy could be their big solution. But right now, the way how Oddity defended it was pretty much unbreachable there for Ferox, really, because the way how Oddity approached this is they didn't care whether you had breached it or not. They brought in a Maverick who pretty much just burns through all of these reinforcements. Whereas the way how Ferox approached this is they go in for a much more conventional decision. They bring in a Hibana, which is counterable by either Bandit or Kaid. And well, they are relying quite severely on that IQ, or for that matter, actually Buck's grenade. So really, they seeming to be falling into that very unfortunate issue where they're just losing out on that initial utility.
Yeah, well, maybe if they don't lose it this time, they may be able to find a way to get through. Still looking to pick up that 6th round win, but really love that. So they have, oh wow, okay.
Well, there it is. That's a good start.
Yeah, that is exactly how you want to start it. Only 30 seconds into the match as well, so Deptra onto Angmo as well.
Yeah, that is a
what
revenge.
A great player to take out.
Yeah, Anglo has been quite crucial for some of the roams here for Oddity. So overall, that is a good beginning.
Really looking for Mims though.
Yeah, Mims so far has been having, yeah, like I mentioned, a field day here for his defense. So he will be the next probably contender here, as right now the defense utility is starting to get chipped away, but there's still Hills with the 1 more Bandit battery, and there's still 2 of the Electroclaw charges. But so unless the frag grenade from below will be ending Kaid's life, I'm not too sure about that breach, really.
Yeah, you see Mims as well. He was working real hard to find someone from above. Already, if they can even things up, then it's just a whole lot better for them. But Ferox have been working with a lot of time, a lot of bullets as well to get into this first room here. See if Stick can make his way in or just continues to hold all of these sightlines.
Right now, that position of IQ
See you on the other side.
crucial to deny the breaches. Right now, ooh, Mims was actually forced off that position and will be forced back into Astro, which is not the most favorable position, but right now for attack, this could be quite crucial to play off.
Yeah, well, he's not going to just sit around and let Ferox walk in. Oh, what a time to be throwing out the C4. Still finds a way to get the kill though. Still looking for another one. Mims keeps going, but gives his life for it. Ferox still holding the man advantage though, but they've got 50 seconds. They've got time.
Certainly do, and right now that Legion is in a bit of a peculiar position right now. Oh, the flank from Hills will be ensuring things are going to be going in Oddity's way. 2v1 now as just Hills doing some work for the new roster that he's playing with. And now for Vladdy, things are not looking all swell. 30 seconds to go, so he needs to find that shot onto Sogs, to say at the very least, as the Legion does reveal his position. But that also gives the point for Hills to push, and there it is. That's a triple kill to clean things out, actually, and to click away for Hills. My goodness.
And Ferox came so close. They almost made it. They could have made it all the way to their 6th round, but for now, they're stuck on the firewall. Oh, they were so close. And now they have to deal with it, all being tied up. Oddity have caught back up. What a way to come back into this match.
And that is a comeback and a half, really, here, made by Oddity. Very nicely done and very nicely coordinated. You gotta give it to Hills. The man has so far done a fair few really good rounds for Oddity and pretty much won them those rounds. And same goes actually for Mims. The man, even in a sticky situation where he had initially a C4 in his hands, was still able to find a frag.
Yeah, I don't know how he lived for so long through that.
Yeah, I'm still questioning that.
It was like, I was having a little bit of a worry because I looked at the screen and saw that position, and I was thinking, almost for a moment, I was the player, and my heart was dropping. Felt a little worrying.
Well, for the decided round as to which team will get themselves the match point here, Oddity will be choosing AVG. The side that so far, I believe they played once, which was fairly well defended thanks to the effort of Angmo, who was actually on the roam, I believe.
Well, every defense they've done so far has been at least good enough.
Oh yeah.
They've picked them all up so far. They could be looking to go for their own 5-1 half. I mean, sure, they'd love to go for the 6-0. Just win
I think they might be just looking down to get the 6-0, really.
I mean, it feels like it's going to happen. I mean, Ferox have come close in some previous rounds, but already have caught all the way back up. Ferox, though, it's just, something's happened on attack. Look, it's looking like a different team.
Oh, look at that peak as well. Angmo, again, the main offender of Oddity, will be ensuring that Steffi is not going to be having a fun time, and that is the line off board. That is the roam clear utility done and out.
And that just cuts the hopes of Ferox winning this round completely out of contention, right? I mean, they've already been down a few members before, as yet another one falls Deptra to the C4. So, I mean, 2 members down now. Yeah, maybe, but it hasn't worked out in the last few rounds where they've had even numbers. I mean, I feel like Oddity just take this round here.
That's very much of a tilter of a round right now for Ferox as well. So quickly, losing out on 2 players and 2 very impactful players, I gotta say, as Deptra and Steffi do have quite a solid amount of kills there going for themselves, but Lina Zafia, that is so much utility as well off the board.
Well, I mean, Ferox, at least it happened early enough that they have a lot of time to think about how the hell they're going to get 3 members in to defuse that bomb. It's going to take them a lot of time to think about it too. So going into these 5 lines, they managed to pick up 1. So Stick may be able to bring this a little bit closer. 1 minute 30 to go. They can't wait around forever.
The good thing here is right now for Stick, he has all the utility really needed to assist his team to go for the breach. They still have Vladio on that Hibana. And he still has... Oh, I'm sorry. Why? Why? Vlad, no. What is happening?
Screw this one wall in particular.
I'm genuinely confused. He used up all 3 of his X-Kairos charges to try to shoot through a small hole in the barricaded window.
Really hated the wall.
Okay, Vladdy does end up finding some redemption and shooting Mims' head off, and that is one of the impactful players, actually, of Oddity.
Yeah, now maybe we're thinking Ferox can bring this up. They're spread out quite a lot here. Hills, though, looking to run around the corner straight into Oda, who picks that one up. And Ferox, wow, I don't believe it, but maybe they will bring it back.
They just might be able to, albeit the time is not in their favor right now, and they need to find those two 1v1 players in a very favorable position. But Nasty has something to say about that, equalizes things up in a 2v1 actually. Now that Vladdy will be finding the shot onto him, and now all up to Sogs really. He does not have a C4 as well.
20 seconds, well, 15 seconds remain. Sogs, the lone defender. Ferox about to rush in. They've got to go in, they don't have the time. Diffuser going down. Sogs has to make the play now. Stop the defenders. He actually stops it. One more kill will seal the deal and secure rounds. Oddity move on to match point, and Sogs does it for them.
I can't believe that was actually allowed even by Ferox. They had the man advantage, they had the angles, but Vladdy was just holding the wrong angle there. Just like that, paid with his life and with the rounds, and boy, oh boy, that is a tilter.
Wow, what a way. And now we have Oddity here on match point. All the way back from a 1-5 half when they were on attack.
Gotta give it to Oddity though. They had some really nice mental fortitude there to make that comeback there. And albeit that it is defense, but it's still quite a challenge really to pull 5 rounds in a row so far. That is quite something.
Yeah, I mean, 5 rounds in any half is great, no matter what.
Oh yeah.
I mean, defense if it's favored, sure, doesn't matter. 5 rounds is 5 rounds, and so Oddity here looking to make it 6 rounds here in this second half, looking to just steal away the entire map from Ferox here in the final round, potentially the final round.
Potentially, that is the main emphasis, because right now Ferox has one last chance to push it into overtime and then reattempt some of the plays, because this is their map pick, and if they end up going into the second map, which is Oddity's pick, with a map deficit, that is going to be quite an impact to the overall morale, even though, like they did say before, they are going to go into playing this as they don't care, but really...
I don't think it's that they don't care. I think it's that...
Well, they don't have a whole lot to lose yet. Sorry, my bad. It's still going to be quite a unpleasant feeling after having such a very nice beginning for the first half, and then all of a sudden it's just them being given a taste of their own medicine.
Yeah, it's pretty rough, although Oddity haven't been doing anything too crazy on defense.
Yeah, they just
coming up playing it well.
Yeah, and that is exactly what they told us as well. They're not going to be changing drastically their whole play style. They're just playing their own game.
Yeah, maybe work on Ferox's intel a little bit, which they've been doing as well.
Exactly what they've done, yeah, and they did it in a variety of ways.
Well, we may be seeing a few early kills here. Deptra doesn't find anything though, so Oddity will walk out of that one unscathed.
Well, not yet, maybe, as just a few shots were exchanged back and forth, but no damage just yet. As well, for Ferox right now, they just need to get that initial round to go in for the push. While, yeah, taking control of laundry could be a good start. Taking control of the living room is a good start, but from there you need to start kind of clawing away each and every centimeter of the ground.
Well, this is the round that counts, and Ferox, they've already gone through a whole minute. They've taken a few shots, but still not a point of damage has been done yet. Slow round. So they did try to make it fast.
Well, to a certain point, yeah. Well,
Oddity kind of made it a little faster. Yeah. Oh, but actually, there's the first kill. Hill's picking that one up onto Deptra.
Hills was itching for that frag as well.
He's always hungry.
He kept on re-peeking that position, and well, there it is. There's also the shots from above, just Vladdy being shut down in each and every attempt. So right now, Ferox's new quote-unquote objective needs to be to clear out the top floor, or else they risking just pretty much losing out on this round as well.
It just feels like everything they try to do gets shut down by Oddity. I mean, you could see the breach was denied. Deptra just getting thrown and killed against early on in every round. It just feels really rough against them. Whatever they're trying to do, every time Oddity are there, just stop it immediately.
Things once again strikes back to find the shot onto Oda, but there's already a double kill actually coming out in response to Ferox to make it actually a triple. Nicely done. So Ferox just might be able to take it with the man advantage here.
Yeah, and Ferox all of a sudden flipped things around. Steffi picking up some important kills too. Now we're over to Mims. The star of Oddity has kept his team alive through so much. Has clutched a lot as well. although loses his one last teammate. Hills,
Bomb diffuser has
look at the takedown.
Oh! It is the 1v1 now. Look at this.
It is,
Two of the attackers are down. The attempt by Peak. Oh, will they actually coming out? Ferox do manage to push this into overtime, ladies and gentlemen. We are not out of this yet.
It almost felt like we were.
It almost fell. It did end up going down to a 1v1, considering that Hibana and Lion did get down, and that was it was very clearly indicated as well to Mim, so he was very much aware about that. But I guess holding the angle behind the bomb is much more powerful than holding the angle behind the table.
Yep. It usually works out pretty well when you can just shoot the guy. Make sure he can't shoot you back. So now we go into overtime. Like you mentioned before, Ferox and Oddity. I mean, who would have thought after the first few rounds? Who would have thought with Ferox being so crazily ahead?
Yeah, and with the way how they started things off, it was so confident in their favor that I wouldn't have expected that Oddity would have made a comeback here, but here we are really in overtime. And Oddity getting the first try on defense on the overtime does mean that they are going to be generally in advantage, considering that so far their defense has been much more prevalent comparative to Ferox.
I think if they had to pick, they'd certainly choose to be the defense more often here. So going to feel really great for them. And they almost won all 6 rounds on defense. Let's not forget, Ferox, the round that they won was very dicey, very close.
Certainly much closer comparative to the way how it ended up working out before on the first half. But overall, gotta give it to Oddity. They've been reading some of the plays and actually being themselves quite aggressive on some of the pushes quite well, and allowing Angmo to go in for some of those peaks very early into the round is certainly a good indication that Oddity are definitely making quite some progress there.
It's always so good to see Angmo pop off.
Oddity already lost some health on a run out as well. Again,
that's a lot of health.
That's a lot of damage.
That is not good to go into this first round. A very important round as well, with health that low onto Otter as well. Man, that was rough for Ferox.
Certainly not having the best fun, but right now there is a roamer in the kitchen, and I'm not too sure if Deptra is actually very much aware. And no, he won't be.
I don't think he was.
Yeah, I don't think he was, as Angmo just has a pitch-perfect peak and, well, will be forced to fall back just a little bit. But his job is already done. That is Zofia off board, and now the whole of Ferox's roster will be trying to just make their way and try to find him. And whilst they were at it, well, Steffi went down again.
Yeah, I don't want to call it too early, but wow. 2.5 members left here for Ferox. They've got 2 minutes left. I mean, yeah.
I mean, we saw before when they were at a 2-man deficit.
They did come back.
Where they nearly managed to pull a comeback, yeah. They were literally a millimeter away from winning the round. So they can make it work. And looking at the utility, there's only one C4 remaining on the side of Oddity. So they can't really go for the C4s from below. So their only way around here is the firefights, really.
Yeah, well, they're going to have to do some pretty good firefights to win here. I mean, with the man advantage that Oddity has.
Yeah, and I just wanted to also get your opinion on the fact that Hills and Mims have double digits already themselves, whereas none of the Ferox players actually have any big numbers. Oh, Oda, good entry, but will be traded out, and just like that, it's a mowdown between Oddity of Nasty and Hills, and well, Oddity will be taking the first round of OT into their favor.
Yeah, just a real explosion at the end there, but Oddity just kicking things off with such a great start. I mean, even just the damage onto Oda was already enough. I was already hyping that up. But then they come in and just get 2 early kills. That sets them up so well to keep Ferox out for the rest of the round. So already putting themselves in a great position here in overtime.
So this round now, this is the round where Ferox needs to win for themselves to stay in this. This is their last-ditch chance to essentially maybe try to bring it back in their favor, because if they will end up losing on their defense, well, that's going to be it for map number 1. And, well, they're deciding to bring in the AVG. And, well, AVG so far has been, throughout the first half, has been quite successful for them, considering that they were able to challenge quite a few angles there. So on this, at this point, I'm curious whether Oddity will know how to approach this already, considering that they've played already 2 rounds against the way how Ferox defended AVG. So It's a rather a question, can they read into it or not?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing, right? We haven't seen Ferox on defense for what feels like 3 years. So now we finally get to swap sides, get them all the way back there. And, you know, we hyped up Oddity's round on their half on defense. Ferox also had a spectacular round. They had the same thing. They had a 5-1 half. So all things considered, we should be expecting a really good hold here from Ferox.
It should be.
10 seconds to
Yeah,
insert.
should
Emphasis
be.
is on should be. Considering that so far, it's been quite a demoralizing streak for Ferox's second half.
Oh, I mean, Oddity had some pretty demoralizing streaks as well, and they came back. So, oh no, not again, Steffi. Naughty boy, but he doesn't hit anyone, so it doesn't change the match at all. Apart from throwing away a C4.
We do also have the Doc that is actually holding an angle from the window, so I don't think he will be able to find a shot from there, but if Oddity would have spotted that, they could have been slowed down just by a smidge, but it certainly doesn't look like it.
They'll be all right. It's all right.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Well, hopefully for them.
Yeah.
Ferox are probably keen for it to happen.
I like those angles that Ferox actually also have from above onto the ground floor, but the fact that Deptra is actually back onto the roaming, similar to what Angmo was actually doing, I'm keen to see that happen.
I wonder if Deptra can find Angmo this time. I'm sure he'd love to get that revenge, especially for the last round as well, finding him so early on.
Attackers
Ooh,
recover the
nice.
diffuser.
Whose footprints? Who left them there? Who didn't
That would be
clean,
Deptra.
who didn't clean their feet?
Would be Deptra. Would be actually still roaming downstairs, and I don't think the attackers are still yet too keen for that, because they know that it's going to take him some time to make a rotation, so whilst they do have all of the utility to clean him out, I don't think they will be necessarily dedicating the utility for that very
Attackers have
thing.
located a bomb.
Yeah, they're still looking to spy out some utility from Ferox, but when we saw Ferox on defense, it was so hard to just wear their utility down. They held on to it for so long, managed to just keep it on, and just win the firefights in general. And so, probably looking to do the same thing here, back on defense.
Well, with all the setups coming out, and now the timer is starting to tick down even more and more. Minutes left to go, and already the first peak does come out onto Vladdy, who does take quite some damage, but Oda is the one to get a TKO. That's not what you want right now, especially against Steffi T, the one who had the C4.
And that is not the way to play through your match point overtime round here. Ferox need to win this one, but like you said, you're going to be dropping on map number one gas grenade out. Already patiently waiting for their turn to go through.
So much utility been used up already onto denying the push, but right now that double-sided push might actually come out, as right now Vladdy is not very too keen, but will be fighting the shot onto Hills, so now it is a one-sided push, and right now Oddity are in a bit of a sticky situation here.
And Mims immediately just had to go and hide. Sogs is taken out as well, and kills are just going out all over the place here. Who is winning the fight here? It's hard to tell, but Ferox eventually do take this one out.
Going a full set of rounds here, ladies and gentlemen. Full overtime as well, as this is going to be the final stretch here on the first map between Ferox and Oddity.
You did say it was going to be close.
Yeah, well, I got what I asked for pretty much at this one, Matt. Considering that, well, overtime match point 7-7. Dining room will actually be the choice. So this is the place where Oddity didn't really find success. This is the site where it did come down to a 1v1 position, but Ferox ended up finding the final shot.
Both teams have only lost one round on defense each. One round. And so now we got to see if Oddity are going to be the team that loses
Defenders,
2 rounds
protect
on
your bombs
defense,
from being defused by
or they just
attackers.
continue and use statistics. Who's much more likely to win this one?
Well, one way or another, this is going to be quite a heartbreaking loss for either one of those teams, no matter what. Considering that for Oddity, it will be heartbreaking considering that they've just pulled a very massive comeback.
Yeah, falling short of the comeback always sucks.
Yeah. Whereas on the side of Ferox, this will be quite a disheartening loss as well if they end up losing. Because, well, they've had a very confident beginning and then just fell off.
an insanely good start. It was crazy, but I mean, that
crazy,
said,
yeah.
Oddity's comeback was just equally insane. So
5 seconds left.
it comes down to one round, the final round here. So Oddity versus Ferox here on Villa. Which team is going to be able to get it done? Ferox rushing in on the attack.
Only thing I'm seeing is the fact that Mims is not on Kayet, and well, the moment we don't see Mims on Kayet is certainly putting the success of his under a big question mark here.
Yeah, well, I mean, Ferox, yeah, like you said, caught out by the Kayet several times, so interesting to see it not played out again, but that's it. Let's see how it goes. With Ferox, they were pretty quick to at least start into the building, but they've backed off a little bit.
Also, here's a fun fact for you.
Lay it on me.
Not a single bomb has been planted, and not a single diffuser has happened.
Hey,
if you take a look at the leaderboard right now, thanks to the new rehashed UI, we can actually see how many objective plays there were. And well, so far on neither of the side, we've seen none.
Yeah, I was trying to work out why the players sucked. Had all these zeros everywhere.
Oof.
But I guess, yeah, if you never have to plant the bomb,
Yeah, fair enough, yeah.
or plant the diffuser. Okay.
Interestingly enough, also, is that this time Ferox actually brought in a Maverick rather than a Hibana. So maybe, just maybe, they won't be as reliant on that IQ anymore for this round.
Possibly. I mean, they've a little reliant on it before. Has died early in certain rounds, but look what's going on here.
Yeah, Hills on the roam is certainly going to be quite a thorn in the side, and if he won't be droned out at all at the beginning of the push, Ferox are going to be in for a whole lot of trouble.
Yeah, he's taking his time on it for now, waiting for Ferox to move in.
Yeah.
Get him out of position. But looks like they're going to be off pretty soon. Haven't gone for any real push yet, though.
Well, so far they're trying to drain out those ADSs, as those are going to be quite a pain to deal with. But inside of Oddity, they are having a single C4 to play off. And Sogs, this is not what you want right now. The man is running in a single spot, and this is far from what you want to be.
What a horrible round to have it happen in as well, but we'll see if you can pull it back. See if you can come back. Here's 40 seconds now remain here. It's do or die. He's still jogging on the spot, man. He's gonna keep the reps up. But let's see. Ferox from above. We've got to find something. Sogs, he's gone. Are we gonna see a pause of any kind? Who knows? But go in. He's already taken out on the entry though. Aang picking up a very important kill. Maybe they can pull off a clutch 4v5.
Might be able to. I don't think he's knowledgeable about that Maverick, but all the lineup is coming up as Oda is tagged up quite substantially. All the peaks is coming out, but Steffi will be down, and Mims is also busting out a move. Mims down, 1v2 situation now. Ferox in so much advantage right now, but with the time running low, Hills needs to deny this time, and the time will be denied. Oddity win by the time, my goodness.
And Sogs just making real good time for himself. He says, nah, the boys have got this one. I'm out. I'll see you guys here on map number 2. Hopefully he's back from map number 2, by the way. But there it is, Oddity. Somehow with the pretty much 4v5 in the final rounds of overtime, they get it done, taking the first map. And oh man, with the break in between, that felt like a long map.
It was. It literally went down to the final second of the final round to decide which team would end up taking the win here. And, well, congratulations to Oddity, first of all. They've pulled out a massive comeback, first of all.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first thing we should be talking about.
That's the first thing, yeah, first of all. Second of all, unlucky loss here for Ferox after having a very nice, dominant 5-1 first half. Unfortunately, just couldn't seem to close things out there at all. So now they're going into map number 2, which is Bank, first of all. Second of all, this is Oddity's map pick, and well, that is not a good sign here for Ferox here.
Never feels good to lose your map pick and then have to go and play your opponents. But
yeah,
I mean, that said, we'll have to see what it looks like here on map number 2. I mean, we just saw Oddity come all the way back, so yeah. Who knows? We may see the reverse sweep. That said, though, we're going to be continuing the series after this break, guys. So go get a drink, refresh yourself, and be right back with more action.
こで止まってください。
不思議じゃないか。不思議ってね。
Thanks, Mary.
Rainbow Six. Experts in close quarters battle and hostage rescue. Assembled from special forces teams around the world. The counterterrorism units. These are the elite French operators. Twitch maneuvers a shock drone.
Drone spinning up.
This one can deliver electric probes to distract hostiles or incapacitate devices. If you think nobody can get in, she'll prove you wrong.
We need to keep moving.
Montaigne is armed with an expandable shield able to give protection from small firearms and close combat attacks. Right where nobody wants to go, he'll step in first.
Stay behind me. Ready to go. Operator hit!
Equipped with a stim pistol, Doc is able to precisely deliver a close-range healing shot.
Here, take this!
When things go south,
Cover me!
Doc is the one to give a second chance.
Try not to get yourselves hurt.
Rook can provide additional armor packs to the team. Each vest can stop ballistics from piercing the chest cavity. Quite handy when it's your own holding the shots. GIGN operators know that saving a life is more important than one's own.
And we return after a match that went all the way to overtime on Villa, but we're still in the middle of the series. It is between Ferox and Oddity. Ferox just falling short, with Oddity picking up the win in Villa, all the way to round 15.
Yeah.
All the way.
And all the way to literally the final second of it. It was, the final round did end up concluding in time being ran out, as Hills did end up killing the person that was planting, and well...
Still didn't get a defuse.
Still didn't, yeah. Didn't get the defuse, and well, for Ferox this was a very unfortunate loss, but a very fortunate comeback here for Oddity, as we are going back to map number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Bank is Oddity's pick, albeit that they are still going to be starting on the offense here.
Yeah, so Oddity didn't look too flash hot on the attack in Villa. Of course, their first half being 1-5, but they did clean things up in the second half of the map very easily, but spent the majority of it on defense, even in overtime. So wonder what they're going to be going with here, but already that's a ban we haven't seen at all.
That's interesting. Okay, Nook ban is something that Ferox wouldn't really want to see, considering that, well, she could probably be quite a thorn in the side of the defense, as she is pretty much the combination of the Caveira and Vigil, and she's extremely good for that lurk.
Why not just have 2 heroes in one? But Thatcher's going to be the following man. Pretty non-surprising there. Thatcher banned in pretty much every match, so no surprise to see that one taken away. For now, following that, it's going to be Pulse again, coming out for the bans.
Lack of Pulse is pretty much what has been quite an issue there for Ferox, just in general, both figuratively and literally, considering that they were quite missing out on a fair few firefights once they got onto the offense.
Yeah, Echo's going to round things out, so not too different, although Ferox were picking that one up a few times.
Actually, Oddity was...
Oh, no, sorry, Oddity, yeah.
Baker.
I meant to say Oddity.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Fair enough, fair enough.
It's okay, but there it is, coming into this one. So Oddity on match, or on series points here. And so feeling pretty fantastic about that one. Well, I'm keen to see if their attacks are going to be looking a lot better here as we move on the bank.
Well, yeah, this should be their much more polished map, considering that the general play is also there, but I am rather more curious about how will also Ferox approach the defense, because for one, they managed to bring in a mirror for this one. That's the first thing. Second of all, they bring in a warden who will have to contend not against one set of grenades, but two, because now Maverick has frag grenades as well. So the moment those ADS will be drained by I'm guessing Sogs, actually, because there's no flashbangs actually on the side of Oddity. Angmo brought in breach charges, Hills brought in breach charges, and Sogs brought in claymores. Well, he doesn't have any throwables really, so
Yeah.
the only thing that will be draining those ADSs without using up those frag grenades will be Sophia charges, which a little bit strange to me, to say at the very least. Just for the sheer fact that, well, usually you bring in at least one of the operators that can just throw out the stun grenades onto those surface stairs. But maybe I'm missing out on something here. I'm not too sure, because I'm a little bit confused and baffled here.
Well, let's see if they can get it done. I mean, it is Oddity. They have found some pretty fantastic solutions before.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see what they can do. But like you mentioned, it could just be a problem that they weren't seeing. They haven't seen and are about to run into it.
Or maybe it was just a misclick or a mischoice of the loadout as well. It happens to the best of us really out here. So
Not me. Never.
sure. Because, I mean, the breaching charges for Hibana, that is something a little bit odd, to say at the very least, considering that, well, she doesn't really do a whole lot of breaching just in general, apart from her ex-Kairos pellets.
Okay, so 1 minute already burned down here for Ferox on the defense. Pretty happy with how that's going. Everyone's waiting patiently for their attackers to come in and just walk into their sightlines, essentially. This is kind of how Ferox played defense on map 1, so not too surprising.
Now, here's the thing. Oddity did drone out. They know that there is presence on the surface stairs, and instead what they've prompted to do is open up the hatch in the tellers, open up the hatch maybe in the elevators as well, and maybe going through the back push, because that is not reinforced whatsoever.
Attackers have dropped the
Well, they
bomb
will have to
diffuser.
start moving there pretty shortly. It's halfway through the round now. And so they do not want to get caught out on any of these movements here. Ferox,
A bomb has
not
been
really
located.
looking to roam, but it would be like a real shame if anyone from Oddity did just get picked off randomly, so have to be careful.
It's just a shame in general having that unexpected pick-off. But yeah, I fully agree with you. It's certainly not for Oddity. This will not be the most ideal play, as they just might stall out in case they will die first. But oh well, just like you said, Steffi is the one to actually kick things off onto Sogs, and that is the Sophia of board, the only person who's actually able to drain the ADS is remotely without using the frag grenades.
Yeah, and he gets it for free as well, so Nasty looking to start making some holes in the floor. It does move away from it pretty quickly though. Does not want to be fired back upon from below. Does not want to risk getting another member of Oddity taken out before the main push goes out. Speaking of the main push, 30 seconds to go, so Oddity,
there it is.
I was going to say you're going to go now, but that was certainly not the way to go.
Yeah, Stick also does have the crossfire there onto that drop. Will pretty much be ensuring things are going to be going semi-smoothly. As just as I say that, there is a double kill to come out from Oddity, but all up the hills to actually try to get the fraggers. Right now, Vladdy's actually down, so in a 2v1's position here. Things are not looking all well. 7 seconds left to go, and really all just Hills is going is just for the frags, really.
Oh man, if you ever want someone in a 1v2 though, Hills has done it pretty well. However, with no time to go, Ferox happy to pick that one up, getting round number 1.
Okay, so Ferox kicking things off similar to how Villa went, having a very nice, very confident beginning on their defense, could potentially set themselves up for yet another successful first half.
Gotta worry a little bit though, as it did look a little less one-sided. I say a little bit, it looked a whole lot less one-sided, although Ferox had a great start.
Ferox had a good crossfire as well. They were keeping a continuous watch out and a lookout. Sorry, that's rather more a
Hey
proper
man,
word.
watch out, we know what that means.
Yeah. Either way, they kept an eye out on the drop, as they were quite knowledgeable that Oddity could pull out some odd plays. And, well,
Attackers need to
Oddity
locate
ended up
and
just
defuse
falling
as
into
many
that
bombs
trap.
as they
They ended up playing themselves almost.
They did come close though.
They did come close, yeah.
I mean, Hills almost brought it all the way back. So, I mean, you've just got to imagine what that round would look like if Oddity didn't have a few deaths earlier on in the round.
Camera
With
activated.
Ferox happy to pick those ones up. So that might be this round. Who knows?
Could be, could be. For now, Stickle trying to, well, we'll bring in first of all a castle. A castle for a, what I believe is
10 seconds to go.
the Tellers and Archives hold. Yeah, it is Tellers and Archives. But usually castle for these kinds of holds is used to expand on some of the ground for the defense around the site. So in this very case, he just might utilize his castle barricades to essentially close off the admin office to gain some more rotating ground for the defense who's anchoring down right around the site.
Yeah, and Oddity have been caught out on their breach a few times, not even just in this map, but you know, map number 1 as well. So always good to catch them out with that, denying some of their breach. But let's kick things off again. See how Oddity move here on their second attack.
Oddity has so far managed to showcase us some really good adaptations to a fair few rounds, so I wouldn't be surprised if we'll be seeing a much closer contention here, albeit that we also saw some sloppy rounds from Oddity when the first half was beginning. So maybe right here, right now, Oddity are just feeling out the ground, seeing how can we go in for that push, for that pressure later on in the game.
I still think Oddity have warmed up. I think they've gone through their map number 1. They've obviously won it as well, so they've kind of got the ball rolling. They haven't really lost much since that first half.
I mean, you're not wrong.
They've lost like, what, 2 rounds, I guess, one of them being in overtime. But let's see if they can win this one here. I guess 3 if you count the round they just lost. But over on map 1, only lost 2. But here we go, halfway through this round.
Bomb located by attackers.
Finding the bomb site. The question is, when are they going to look to make their push pretty soon? Because at this point in the previous round, Ferox had already picked up a kill or 2. So is it going to look different enough here for Oddity? Is their position good enough? Maybe not, actually, as they walk below. And it's just a slaughter.
It is a slaughter indeed, considering that right now that was pretty much a pitch-perfect timing, as Steffi had a really powerful position to deny that push, as that was pretty much a bait and a half. But interestingly enough, Oddity are in control of the archives. But Mims will need to try to find the shots on up above, because, well, whilst they do have the control of the archives, the diffuser is what they don't have.
Yeah, I mean, they're basically just going to have to walk in and win some firefights. Oda will win his one, though, but Mims picking up that kill.
Okay.
1v3, so, yeah, we've seen worse. But I feel like it's still very rough here for Mims. He's being hunted down. Ferox just searching for this guy. He knows he's only got 20 seconds left. Not a whole lot of hope for him. He's just hoping to win a few fights.
15 seconds remaining.
15 seconds left to go. Not a whole lot can be done, but in the 1v2, this is very much clutchable. Right now, the defense needs to be very much cautious. Mims tagged up quite substantially and really denied it. Get another entry point, get another funnel through, and there it is. Ferox finding yet another round for themselves.
I like the Sogs kill near the end that he got while he was dead.
Oh, yeah.
Which was kind of nice to see. I was like, hang on, we're looking at Mims. He didn't shoot anyone. But there it is. Mims, unfortunately, can't get that very tough situation done in the end. So, unfortunately for him, Oddity will go down in that one. Ferox picking up round number 2. I feel like we're getting close to what we saw in map number 1. I mean, are these rounds really different enough? Like, is Oddity bringing it close enough?
I don't think they do, really. Well, we saw the first maybe 3 to 4 rounds where it was through and through Ferox's rounds. But after that, we slowly started seeing Oddity adapting to the way how Ferox played. And well, from there, it was slowly turning the tide into Oddity's favor. So maybe this will be a repetition here. Maybe it's just one of those, like, call it the Oddity curses, where they just need to feel the ground out, maybe lose a couple of rounds to get themselves motivated, and then they just go in and take away the win.
The plan is to go and lose a few rounds and, again, get the Zenkai boost.
Yeah, exactly that.
Do you know what a Zenkai boost is?
Not really.
Wow, come on. It's Dragon Ball Z, man. You're old like me.
Funnily enough, I barely watched any Dragon Ball Z.
Oh no. Oh no. Well,
I was one of those
okay.
kids.
So the general idea is that if you get really hurt, then you get stronger.
Right.
Essentially. So that's the whole losing
5
rounds
seconds left
to
before
come back
insertion.
later on.
I
I
figured
but
as
it's
much.
explained anime over a Rainbow
Attackers
Six
are
stream.
moving
But there
out to
we
locate
are,
bomb
guys.
diffuser.
Here in 2020. What a weird year it's been.
With the introduction of the recent 2 operators, I wouldn't be surprised if we will be seeing some anime powers soon coming out, considering that Iana, the recent addition to Team Rainbow, has a full-on moving hologram, so which does end up bullying Alibi, whose Prisma is a non-movable object.
Please. Oh wow, what a start.
Oh.
I mean, we're here talking about anime and getting it into the game, but Mims, he's all business.
Mims is living in 3030, whilst we all live in 2020.
I bet Mims doesn't watch anime. He's too busy playing Rainbow.
Clear.
He's too busy with being an epic gamer.
Well, I mean, it's certainly working for him. His team's one map up. They're
Located by
maybe not
attackers.
winning so well on this one, but they're looking to get their first round win here with a great entry.
Getting rid of probably the only long-range operator here being Vladdy is certainly a good beginning, but so far it's been Steffi, Stick, and Deptra has been pulling off, and as well as that, Oda actually. Deptra does find a nice shot onto Mims, so that is the star player of Oddity off the board, but they still have Hills, they still have Aang, and well,
Loading new
Hills just
magazine.
exactly does that. He becomes the shining star and will be taking out Deptra.
Yeah, and that really makes things so much easier for Oddity right now. They've got a whole lot of attackers left. They've got half the round to go. They've taken out important defenders as well. So they've really set themselves up for the best possible round. They've even won fights where they've been men down. So I feel like they're looking real good here as Hills picks up his second kill of the round, taking out Steffi.
Hills is just being nutty out here, just trying to, well, not trying, just doing some real good work here for his team. But right now, looking at Oda, his position is very much dangerous here, considering that he is contesting against a Sophia.
Poor guy is just completely pinned down. He's going to have to probably get up and run at some point and just hope that it works out. Still 50 seconds to go. Oddity have to walk into this one. They take out the one lone defender there. Oda is gone, and Stick has to make his way all the way back to the bomb.
Actually seen a fair few times when the round was actually finished off by draining the time, so maybe this could have been the play, but no. Angmo will have a free plan, the first time in this series actually, for that matter, as well. At this point, he will have the time ticking against him. With all the breaches out there, it's pretty much an easy shot there. Nasty to clean out for the first round of Oddity to take.
Yeah, pretty much impossible for Oddity at the end there to lose that one.
Unless they go for frag hunting, but yeah, that's pretty amateur thing to do.
Yeah, I feel like they're probably good enough to not just throw a free round away, just take the easy win there once they got into the position there. But finally, we get Oddity getting a point back on the board here, so their attack looking a whole lot better. The fact that the rounds were close, certainly saying something. Ferox really got to watch out for getting taken out by these entry frags here. That was not a good way to start the round.
Not at all. Losing a dock, a long-range operator, especially on that position. I mean, they couldn't really read into that very specific play, but at the same time, you got to be prepared for that type of stuff. You got to be prepared for the fact that those castle barricades will get opened up pretty quickly, and you got to be expecting that somebody will be already holding an angle there. So it's a bit of a 50-50 kind of fold, you could say.
Yeah. Okay, Oddity. Let's see what they can do. Here again. Their last attack, real good from the start. I think they really set themselves up once they got the entry frag. I guess the question's going to be, when the final push happens and the numbers are even, is it going to be enough for them? Because so far they've been trading back pretty well when they've been down.
10 seconds remaining.
So I wonder if they can still win fights when the numbers are even.
5 seconds to go.
That is a very good question, because yeah, like you mentioned before, the trades have been quite
Attackers' objective is
nuts.
to locate a bomb
And even on the previous map, on Villa, both teams were able to just trade back and forth all those blows. And well, whilst it was Oddity's win, the scoreline was very much down to the very last second.
Yeah, and a lot of these firefights are just over in seconds as well.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much everyone down, although what do we have here, Constantine? What's going on?
That's a very peculiar setup, considering that there's a mirror window that is popped up, which will be quite an issue to deal with, considering that that will allow some C4s to be flung in, and, well, Sogs on the Monty will be the big distraction here for a potential push onto the service stairs.
Yeah, he's just going in, having a cheeky wee look and getting all the live intel, being a human drone. Goes up for a love tap. Can't do that anymore. Can't do that. Have to self-isolate.
I see what you did there, Matt.
Can't just go around high-fiving people, even if they've got a big shield up. And he is going to be sticking around and basically just forcing Ferox to keep their eyes on him. They won't want to let him just walk on through. While over here, Maverick going to be doing his thing.
Opening up a hatch is certainly going to open up yet another avenue for the attack to keep an eye out and to ensure that nobody will be peeking from an aggressive angle onto that mirror window. But as it stands, ooh, Sog's taking up quite a bit of damage. Oh,
quite a bit.
He's lit. He is lit, and that is the gas grenade that will be downing him. But no doubt, he's still going to be picked up in case any of the attackers will be rotating. But so much time has been already drained, and well, not a whole lot of push has been done, really.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to bother chasing Sogs, right? Who's going to be there to bring him back up? I mean, and is it even worth it, right? So he's basically just going to sit there and bleed out. There's only a minute to go. Ferox, they're happy to just run the clock down if Oddity want to go and chase that. So now is the time for Oddity to move in.
With Debtra being tagged up quite substantially from the shots that came in from the Maverick.
Attackers have dropped the
They
bomb.
might be looking a little bit dicey, but so is for Oddity right now. They don't have a single entry point safe for them, because they haven't taken control of the servers, they haven't taken control of the elevators, and well, right now their only avenue is going to be pushing and sprinting straight through the garage, which I believe there's still a person guarding it.
Yeah, well, let's see if the guard can get his job done here. 20 seconds remain here. Hills taking his time, going in cautiously. Actually gets the first kill there. Hills is a machine today.
Woo. Yeah, Hills is working out so well right now for Oddity. Yet another kill, and just like that, it's a full-on rush. 10 seconds left to go, and only 2 people to play with. Debtra does find the shot onto Mim. Needs to find another one. That is Hills. That's the third one. Nicely done by Debtra. 1v2 situation with time not being enough, and Ferox just at the final moment do manage to drain out the time.
Got a little worried there. Obviously, already having to rush in is never great, but when they get in there and start getting a few kills, if you're a Ferox fan, you're starting to worry a little bit, but worry not, my friends, as...
yeah, Debtra is still there.
Yeah, Debtra was there. He had a great position. Everyone kind of ran into his crosshair as well, which is always a bonus.
Yeah, it's definitely a bonus. Less time to really even try to adjust the aim, so...
But that's what happens when you're running out of time. You're going to make decisions like that where you just have to run.
Yeah, hasty decisions that certainly have been quite an issue for both of the teams, actually, for that matter. Now, interesting as well here, Clash. The choice of Clash over the Valkyrie out of all of the operators is going to be quite a...
Defenders,
How should I
protect
say
your bomb
it?
from being
It's
defused
definitely
by
peculiar, to say the
All right, well, why is it peculiar?
It is peculiar considering that you're trading out one of the more efficient info gatherers for literally a live drone, which in some cases is very much beneficial to your team. But if the attacking team gets rid of it very quickly, which the attacking team actually does have all the utilities for it. They have the stun grenades that will move away the shield, as well as that they have the fire bolts of Capitao. Well, Clash will be pretty much useless. And she barely, well, when the firefights do end up happening, she takes quite some time to switch off that shield, so they will need to play very passively with her.
Okay, let's see how it works out, though. Because that's going to be real, like you said, real peculiar to see if it does work out, or why they're picking it as well.
Out of all the operators, I probably would have ended up trading out, say, maybe a Castle, rather, for a Clash and bringing in a Valk, because Oda on Valk was quite deadly, I gotta remind people, because during Villa, Oda was a menace on the defense.
Yeah, so putting a big shield in front of them is an interesting decision. But, well, Ferox have been doing pretty well on defense so far, so they must know something that maybe we don't. Let's see if they reveal whatever that is. See if they can pick up the win here. Although they have run the clock down pretty well so far. Oddity is certainly taking their time moving through these rooms.
Yeah. It's just so far it's just being very slow around here from Oddity as they're just trying to figure out whether they want to make the point of entry. So far it seems that the ATMs in the main lobby is the go there. As, the drone is also coming out, so it seems like a very much of a single-sided push, but that can be changed pretty quickly. Where did that shot come from?
Yeah, well, the point is, it did hurt a little bit. A little bit of free damage. Deptra's also been tagged up just a little bit too, so Ferox are getting softened up just a little bit. Trying to run through most of their utility here. Although Oddity don't have too much longer to go with that plan. Eventually they are going to have to go in. You can already see it's Oda and Clash. He's only taking a few shots, and Oddity are about to move in, on Stick's position perhaps. Oda just waiting at the top of the stairs, just seeing what he can find. Oddity sneaking around here, trying to find a different way. Oh no, they've started moving up the stairs. Electrifying though, will keep them away.
Oh, gotta love that. When a very well-placed ADS will be denying one of the flashbangs, but that's still gonna be pretty much enough. But as Stick does manage to find a shot onto Animo, so that is the first kill after, with the 40 seconds left to go. And right now, Minz's position is now being pretty much showcased here straight away. Vladdy will be going down, same as Oda as well now, all thanks to Hills. Oh, okay, Minz, okay. Okay.
Hang on, well, let's see this again, because that was 3 kills in less than half a second. All right, okay, let's not see it again. Let's see nothing. All right, so Oddity going to be picking that round up pretty easily. I feel like even without the 3 kills in a second, they were pretty likely to win that one anyway.
They salvaged it pretty well, all things considered, because the loss initially of Angmo should have slowed them down fairly considerably. And with 40 seconds to go, they were having a bit of a dicey push there, considering that they only at a later date were able to deal with the clash, but again, thanks to Hills, the man has so far been dealing so much damage to Ferox's lineup and been fitting into Oddity's lineup so well that it's amazing how you will see, first of all, a 4-man push by Oddity on one side, and then all of a sudden the Wild Hills appears, just wreaks havoc all across the board.
Especially when you got like real important positional operators like Clash, right? You can't just have Hills coming up from the side and poking you in the back. Softening Oda up so much that he's able to be taken out pretty easily from that. So that said though, Oddity with a pretty great round, I've got to say. Even though it didn't start off too well with Aang getting taken out pretty early, they still managed to come in and bring him back.
It's very much well organized round and very well played.
Discovered the location of a bomb.
Push,
5 seconds left.
Albeit that it was initially looking like it was a one-sided, but hey. A wild thermite with a flank seeming to be working out pretty well, all things considered.
You can stop worrying about grenades.
Who else are you going to flank with? Exactly.
It's just that usually you don't really see thermite being out there just saying, hey, remember me.
If you want to be a mad lad.
Yeah, if you want to be an absolute mad lad, yeah, just pick thermite and go for the flank. You don't need to breach anyway. You just go flat.
Yeah, your team is off like trying to get into the side. Like, where's our breach?
You're just looking at the kill feed. It's just your fragmite is just 1 kill, 2 kill, 3 kill, like cha-ching.
Where's our breach? Where's the defenders? He's already killed them all.
Defend who? That's probably Hills' motto at this point. It's just, what defenders? I don't see them.
Well, I mean, it hasn't really been the case so far. Here in Bank, they've only won 2 of the 5 rounds. So there are clearly some defenders messing around with Hills. Although he has had some pretty amazing shots onto them. See if you can find any here, but he's not going to find any defenders in this big old lobby. Is it a lobby or a foyer?
That's lobby.
Yeah.
I think, are the 2 words interchangeable? Oh, hang on. Who cares about the English language right now? Aang is tearing a hole through that wall.
So far, Oddity has been having some fantastic droning drone game coming out, but I don't think they were quite expecting for Wild Castle to come out here and get the frag. So trading out Sogs for Vladdy is a pretty decent trade, albeit that's still going to hurt quite a little bit onto Oddity. And with Deptra finding the shot onto Mims, that is the line off board. And it just seems that the line in general is not having a fun time. Nice shot by Hills with a G8.
Oh, Hills made it easy as well, taking that one out so quickly. And the important thing is it evens things up, keeps this still viable for Oddity.
As well as that, he didn't lose a single bit of health as well in that firefight. So he keeps the advantage, at least health-wise, nice and tidy into the favor of Oddity.
Yeah, Deptra sitting there on just a
diffuser.
single bar of health. Does not want to get caught out. Pretty much has to win the firefights completely flawlessly. And it hasn't been going so well for him throughout the entire series,
Attackers
to be
have
honest.
located a bomb.
Been finding it pretty rough.
It's certainly going to be quite rough out here. With 29 seconds left to go, the defense will actually be in quite a slight advantage, considering that they are draining time even more with those castle breakers as they need to be bashed down. And only after that castle barricade will go down, only then they will have the avenue to go in for the double push.
And now, 10 seconds to go. The attackers run in, but they are just taken down immediately. As Ferox hold all the lines, and it's all up to Hills. We've praised the man. He goes for a few shots, I believe. Yeah, he did get it, but it's traded back immediately by Ferox, taking that round out.
So 3 apiece on the first half. This is definitely a change around from what we saw at the first map.
I believe it's 4-2.
No, it's 3. Oh no, it is 4-2. Okay, my bad.
There you go.
Not bad. Okay.
Right.
Well, nonetheless, it's still a closer scoreline comparative to a 5-1, evidently. But still, yeah, well done by Ferox, albeit that the rounds are definitely way closer now.
Well, I mean, I guess you got to ask if 5-1 wasn't enough of a good enough half for Ferox in map number 1. It's 4-2. Even going to be hoping to be enough. Oddity now get to be on defense. They've had a spectacular run on defense over on Villa, so
Attackers need to locate.
it may look to repeat itself here on Bank. Could be a different enough map that maybe they don't have all the same strengths. Is that what we might see out of Oddity? Was maybe Villa just a great map for them on defense? Remember, they did pick Bank.
It could be very much the case. It could be that it's just, yeah, they had a really nice read onto how Ferox played, and maybe this could be one of the maps where they just got lucky. But for all we know, they did manage to take the map number 1, which was extremely close, and all thanks to Hills, really, for clutching this out. But
You can stop worrying.
on the side of Oddity right now, they've gone for a bit more of a generic, well, not generic, sorry, much more standardized play with having, once again, the Warden on the surface stairs and bringing in the Kaid, but this time not on Mims. Instead, it will be Sogs.
Attackers dropped the
Sogs
diffuser.
this time on the Kaid. Ferox walking in on an attack for the first time. Another big shield boy coming out.
Actually, yeah, this is going to be interesting, considering that Blitz is one of those very rare operators that we see, but if it's going to be a full-on rush, this could be quite big, considering that he is going to help dislodge the hold of the service stairs quite substantially.
You know when Beta Blitz was spawned into prep phase?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. That was quite a concept and a half, and that was a scary thought nowadays even.
Yeah, I only learned about it quite recently. And that was that would be a completely different game. It's just a fun little fact for anyone that didn't know.
Actually, here's another fun fact. There's a dual ballistic shield position there. So there is one more for Warden to hide behind. There it is. So right now they will need some even more utility to actually dislodge that position of the special service operator.
Hill's waiting around the corner. He's actually getting aggressive and gets punished.
All right.
Vladdy taking him out.
All right, that is some good beginning. As right now, there it is. Sogs going down as well to the hands of actually Vladdy, as Blitz was the one to down. And so far, Blitz has proven himself to be quite efficient at clearing out the service stairs.
Yeah, now with only 3 members left on the defense team here, Oddity just gonna have to wait while Ferox scout them all out, find out exactly where they're all sitting, and even try to take a few shots. It's just so easy as well. We've got Stick here with a shield in his face, can go in, take a good hard look, find out where everyone is.
Oh, that frag grenade could be quite doubtful if will be, but will won't be the case.
Yeah,
For
it
now.
doesn't find anyone.
Yeah, it doesn't find anyone just yet, but right now the main offender here is going to be the smoke. The smoke grenades are going to be quite deadly, and oh, that grenade, if only if it was cooked just a little bit more, would have been going down. Mims be down as well, but it is Angmo on the trades will be coming out to maybe save the day, as with 35 seconds left to go. Oh boy, this is not looking well. Oda going down to the frag grenades. That is yet another frag grenade from the hatch,
Attackers have dropped
where
the bomb
Maverick just
diffuser.
opened up just a small hole, and well,
Attackers
right now
recovered the bomb
time
diffuser.
is running really low.
Yeah, when you're trying to clutch around like this, you can't afford mistakes like that to happen. Nasty on pretty much no health. Aang hardly holding on as well. They pick up a few kills, but it's all up to Aang now to see what he can get
10
done
seconds
through
left.
the fog
Attackers
here.
recovered the diffuser.
Is he sneaky enough? The diffuser goes down, but Ferox, well, they're too onto it to let Aang do anything about it.
Okay, so 5-2 scoreline here. Ferox looking like they just might be able to push it into overtime, but we've gotten so many times to that point where Ferox pushed it to 5 points, and after that it all just fell apart.
Yeah, is it the curse?
This is where the curse might be kicking in. But gotta give it to Ferox. Their blitz choice worked out
fun.
just perfectly well. Thanks to him, he was able to dislodge both Warden and Kaid, who were holding the service stairs.
Yeah, I mean, just taking them out immediately. I mean, Hills was the big one to take out first as well. And then just having Blitz run down the stairs with the pistol.
Defenders, protect your bombs from
Even Vladdy knows that how unfun it was for 4 songs who got blinded and then just pinched by both the Blitz and the Thermite. But yeah,
Well, it worked out well enough, they're just going to do it again.
yeah, they just might do it. And well, I mean, if Oddity won't be able to deny that this time, I mean, that will be already shame on them.
Okay, well, already certainly not working out so well on defense again. That's a good chunk of barbed wire thrown
10
down.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, so Hills prompting to utilize
Seconds to go.
his position in the garage to the full extent. Actually be turning the garage
Attackers are moving
into a
out to locate
full-on
a bomb and defuse it.
fortress out here, and so much more utility is actually being put down here by Oddity, because that mute jammer is actually going to be playing quite a substantial role, because it can deny the flash of the Blitz shield. So the moment he will vault, he will try to flash somebody, and that ain't gonna work.
Okay, so let's see if the defense is a little different on the stairs here.
Attackers have dropped
Coming
the
out for
bomb.
Oddity.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
Okay, and Ferox are actually going right into the claws of the defense, albeit that I don't think they are quite knowledgeable about that just yet. Hills might be just caught off guard here as the full-on push happening. They just got spotted, and well, there's the peak that just might be coming out from the full set of Ferox players.
Okay, does Hills hold the line here?
Whoop.
Well, it's going to be very hard to do so on his knees, and he gets taken out immediately.
Oh boy, Stick is just toying with Hills right now. Another flash to come out as right now the man needs to go in for the push. Oh, he's toying with the prey and we'll be downing him. Yet another kill. Stick, what are you doing, man?
I mean, they said it was going to be fun on defense. I think Ferox having the most fun on attack here, using this blitz. They do lose Deptra though. Mims picking that one up. And even
Look at this.
Wow. Okay, never mind. Ferox just completely destroy Oddity to come back into this round. Although Aang is having
He's still
few
kicking.
good moments.
Attackers have recovered
Good
their
tags, but it's not enough.
Okay, match point for Ferox. This is a complete different good evening from Vladdy, but honestly, I'm still amazed by how good was that pacing of Blitz. Stick did a fantastic job there, getting rid of Hills and playing so well off that air jab, which Hills ended up trading. And oh, Deptra,
Do you reckon?
spicy boy, maybe.
Do you do this on match point? I mean, Ferox is so far ahead they can afford to do it.
Could very much do it. Well, there's the pick, so he won't be switching it off just yet, but is he going to stick to it? Oh, he is going to stick to it. Oh, my.
All right.
All right, Deptra.
Talk to us about Kali here. Why is this so fun and so important?
Okay, beauty of Kali is the fact that if people played Counter-Strike back in the day,
to locate and
this is
defuse
she pretty much wields an orb. This weapon can one-shot down to the chest, well, the upper body, anyone who will pretty much be running into her site. And her utility is pretty much similar to Thatcher, so albeit that it's much easier to trick, say with the Bandit or even Kite, she still can get rid of some of the utility that is behind the reinforced wall. And so her sniper rifle is going to be essentially a much more powerful glass essentially here. So if Ferox can take control of the parking lot, have Kali there sitting around,
10 seconds
well,
left
it's
before
pretty much going to be impossible to contest with her.
5 seconds remaining.
Okay, well, keen to see the Kali in action here, and on Deptra no less too. So Ferox on match point, looking to just attack one more time, pick up the win here. They don't want to bother with overtime. They don't want to bother with Oddity catching up and going for another reverse sweep in the single map, but Ferox want to get the series reverse sweep here, and they're going to begin it here.
Imagine if Ferox will actually be able to make a full-on comeback and pretty much bulldoze the third map.
Oh, that's wow.
There it is.
That's
and
dangerous.
that's a down.
Oh,
That is a down. There it is.
Deptra, you disgusting little play there. He knew exactly what to do from the beginning of the round. He had a plan and it worked.
There it is. There's the Kali sniper rifle, and that is no biggie as well. Well, a pretty biggie actually.
It's a pretty biggie.
It is a pretty big one. It is Sogs, the only long-range operator here inside of Oddity.
And you're against Kali.
Yeah, well,
Who likes the long range.
exactly. Nasty getting pressured by those frag grenades is going to be a bit of an issue, but please don't tell me that Nomad is going to try to repel through the main skylight, because that is going to be nuts if she actually pulls it off.
I'm just keen to watch Deptra, to be honest. Hey,
Bit of a smack there.
not allowed to do that.
Sick. Oh yes, he did actually. The Mad Lad actually did repel through the main skylight, which is usually being shut down very quickly, but because it's so unconventional, well, I guess Oddity just never really expected that.
Man, already kind of just falling apart here. Although, wow, Mims and Nasty picking up 2 kills. Suddenly, it looks doable for Oddity.
Attackers dropped the diffuser.
Very much. Mims picking up yet another one for himself. Nicely done.
Attackers
Now
recovered
the man
bomb
count is now all of a sudden in favor of Oddity.
Attackers bomb diffuser has been dropped.
Make it a 3v1
Yeah.
actually. Well, make it 3v0 as Hills is just going to be nasty with it. Going to finish things off in a double kill.
Okay, so Oddity get 1 map back. Ferox is still on match point, so they still have a little bit of distance to go. But they aren't that far. They aren't that far from the overtime.
Only
3 rounds?
3 rounds away, and Oddity are on defense, so they have kind of, I guess, the comfort ground here, you could say. As this could very much go into overtime. I wouldn't be surprised if we will be seeing yet another overtime, honestly, here.
I mean, I want to call you out on that and just say no way, but after what happened in map 1, already winning like 5 rounds in a row to come back in the second half, bring it to overtime. So I'm not going to disagree with you, just because it could happen. But I'm going to say that Ferox are in a great position to just win it out here. I mean, they've been having some good rounds. Their attack has been looking good. And I really don't think they're going to let another match slip through their fingers.
Well, one would hope for Ferox for them to make it so. But for now, they are bringing in the choice of the Archive and Tellers. So is that bringing in a castle for Oddity for their reinforcement. So overall, I'm liking what I'm seeing here from Oddity, considering that they are denying the info gathering across the site for Ferox, as well as that they are bringing in their own info gathering in face of Valve. Mims will be chucking out the last black eye camera, whereas on the side of Ferox, well, they really have pretty much a very stock standard nowadays roster of the operators. You have kind of the roam denial in face of Deptra on Nomad, you have Stick on the Zofia with some entry frag, and you have Sledge, IQ, and Thermite, the 3 vanilla operators that have been pretty much bashing down all the reinforced walls since 2015.
Good thing about Sledge as well is none of this jamming nonsense is going to stop him just bashing a hole through the wall.
Precisely. Well, with so far
good tag.
Yeah, a good tag. Been pretty much seeing Stick to fall back a little bit, but with some damage in return, Hills will actually be getting quite a chunky amount of damage.
Yeah, I mean, that's fantastic for them to trade it back on the Hills of all people. Getting the kill would have been fantastic for either side, of course, but trade's still feeling pretty good. Already going to be probably the ones that are happiest with that, just being on the defense.
Oh man, Oryx here in that very position would have been perfect right now because he is able to climb right through those hatches. But man will still be in quarantine as Void has just got released.
Yeah, well, Oddity definitely want to defend here. Spherox on match point, now starting to run out of time. They're making some good holes, looking to get a lot of coverage below them, below the sledge. Don't find anything though. Can't find any.
Can't find any opening.
Defenders, although Nasty has taken some damage as well. Traded it back onto Odar. Steffi has been downed as well. And so Oddity might actually be able to pull this one out as Sogs in the background takes out Deptra, and now we see Vladdy hunting down Nasty. He's already taken him down, but wants to finish the job. A nade should do the trick, maybe two.
That's a flashbang though for now, but they do manage to find the finish off onto Nasty. But right now Steffi, Oda, and Stick are extremely low on health, whereas Oddity's side is so extremely healthy, but it certainly doesn't look like they're really phased by it. Vladdy finds yet another kill. And Hills still being really low on health. Another air jab will be triggered to notify the attacking side of the imminent approach of the defense. As with 30 seconds left to go, the plan needs to start happening sometime very, very soon.
And Vladdy's got to be the one that leads the charge. He's got so much more health than anyone else. And you can see him, he's actually starting to lead it. Starting to plant the diffuser. Who's going to go in and take him out? Oda is the one that is taken out, and Vladdy falls as well. Already, they've lost one member. They don't have Hills, but Hills had no health anyway. From above, though, Sogs finds Steffi. One final attacker, and he's not got a whole lot of health. Stick can't get the plants, and Oddity take round 10. They're still in this. Are they actually coming back?
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, here, Smite. 2 rounds left, and before that, on map number 1, we were prophesizing that, hey, it's going to be a quick and easy map for Ferox, and
it felt like it was going to be a quick 2-0 at that point.
Yeah, it almost felt like it would have been a quick 2-0, but it really looks like Oddity might just be pulling a comeback here after having a bit of a wake-up call in the face of match point, and drumroll, a Wamai.
Maybe.
I definitely think that, yeah, Wamai for this one is going to be quite a powerful operator to play with, as he's not yet locked in, so maybe a 6-pick. No, it will be actually on, okay. So Mozzie off onto Maestro, and Wamai will actually be staying in the roster.
So Wamai on a round with Ferox on match point, Oddity cannot lose this round. Suddenly they're bringing out something new. I mean, what is this going to bring? Is it enough to, kind of guarantee a victory, or is it a little risky?
As a matter of fact, this might actually work out really well. So you have Wamai with, I believe that is 7, he has 7 of the magnets, and then you have the Jaeger ADS. Both of these operators can deny any projectile. Well, in Wamai's case, it's any. In Jaeger's case, it's any of the explosive projectiles. And, well, they just might, if they position those magnets well enough, they might be able to pretty much allow themselves to worry less about grenades in general, because
they cover a lot of area, right?
Yeah, they cover quite a lot of area. Look at this. Look at the sheer radius. Thank you, Hills, for actually demonstrating that for us. But that magnet on the wheel will pretty much be able to cover anyone who will try to flank out anyone who is going to be throwing the grenades right at the position by the truck. So honestly, this could work out really well, depending on the positioning.
And Stick back to his favorite operator, I reckon.
At this point, he is. Yeah, Blitz has been phenomenal here for the offense, especially for Stick. So,
although it feels like Oddity have learnt the lesson, they're going to be holding the stairs again, and Stick just holding the line, waiting to see if they are still there, seeing if anyone's going to peek out. Oh, that was a jump scare. Well, he's going for the peak, but
okay.
we don't get to see it, so don't worry. Hold your breath for now.
The flashbangs will be coming out. And actually, funnily enough, Ferox has decided not to even care about the fact that there is a person actually sitting on the server stairs, as the flashbangs will be coming out. But the peek from Sogs will be ensuring that the Ferox side will be staying right on their tippy toes.
Yeah, what an awkward attack as well. That's an early gas though, burned out, but Aang manages to find Steffi as well. 3 members left here on the attack. Going up, another gas, buying so much time here. But this is not even halfway through the match here. They're not going to have a whole lot left. They're going in with the gas, just rushing through it. But Stick, you can't hold your breath for that long.
Nasty will be able to find a double kill for himself. That is a very unfortunate for Ferox to take off the server stairs. And just like that, it is all up to Odaving, the sledge player of Ferox, who is not in a really great position, considering that it's a 5v1.
I don't have a lot of faith. I'm not going to lie. Oda, yeah, he's had some fun moments, but with 1 minute to go, I mean, it's not the shortest amount of time, but a 1v5, I think he's just going to chill here, maybe pick up a cheeky kill here or there, but I feel like we're going to be waiting this next 47 seconds out.
Yeah, it just might be happening actually, considering that this will serve as a really nice tactical break for Ferox to kind of talk it out. I don't think, boys, what happened? Why?
Boys, come on.
Boys, come on. We got this far. We got to 5-1 scoreline on the first half, and Villa ended up losing it all. Now we're on the match point and still end up losing it all. Well, close to losing it all, considering that this is most definitely going to go into 5-6 scoreline, and from there it's only 1 round away from already granting themselves overtime.
Oda. He's trying to find something here with 6 seconds to go. I think he just wants a sledge kill, to be fair.
I think he wants to just sledge that magnet.
I don't blame him though. Yeah, he's going for it. Oh, doesn't get it. You swung too early, trying to pre-fire the caber, but not going to be finding that one. The range is a little too short.
Hey, quite an unfortunate swing, but 5-1. I mean, coming back from a 6-2, I believe, scoreline, that is quite something.
Yeah, they were pretty far back. I mean, it was about the same. Maybe 1 round difference here for Ferox back in map 1, but wow. I mean, Oddity are just doing it again. They have basically evened up the scoreline, so Ferox can just look at the top of the screen and already feel bad, already start worrying about the fact that they're letting it happen again.
Yeah, hiding. Both of the newest operators that just got released into the fray will be picked, as Deptra does hide the Kali pick. The CEO office will be the choice, so this will be the prime real estate for Kali to take, as well as that same goes for Wawai, as his magnets will actually be able to deny those projectiles that Kali actually shoots out to get rid of the castle barricades.
Okay, so here's the thing. Wamai worked out pretty well for Oddity.
He is.
Kali worked out pretty well for Ferox, although they didn't win the round. Even Deptra's still got some pretty sick kills in it.
Yeah, it's... I mean, at this point, you would really want to see Ferox at least find a map for themselves. They've literally been sitting on that match point for so many rounds and just unable to close it out.
I mean, what if we count the rounds that they've been on match point, not including this, including this map and map 1? Because what? How many rounds were they on match point for in map 1? Like
they
5?
They didn't really get to the match point per se.
No, they didn't. That's right,
it was a 5-1 at the first half, but they were really, really close. They were 2 rounds away from granting themselves the win, and here they are, they're only 1 round away and still just can't seem to find that closure, which is quite unfortunate for them if you think about it, because while it is very fortunate for Oddity, as they are finding some really nice frags, and you gotta give props to them, they are able to find some very nice comebacks, you can't help but feel bad for Ferox.
Oh, you have to feel bad for them. It's never a good feeling to come so close to victory and let it happen, let it slide away twice, if that happens again. They can still just win right here on this round. So, Oddity have started off their attack. We haven't seen anything crazy from Deptra yet. He didn't get basically a kill right at the start of the round, like he did last time on Kali.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Kali's shots pretty much make a massive punch holes in the wall, in the soft walls.
Yeah, just another breach.
Just another breach, essentially, yeah.
Just squeeze through the hole. Go on. Okay.
Talking about squeezing through the hole, that is a C4 onto Steffi to get rid of him, and that is very unfortunate demise.
That is heart-wrenching right now for Ferox. They've already lost half health on Oda. Deptra hasn't found anything. The round is halfway through, so already they're holding strong. They're making sure that they're going to be looking to go to overtime here. Ferox still can come back for sure. We've got to find something from Deptra. They haven't even really started going for the breaches yet properly to the bombs.
I mean, it's only a single man's advantage here for Ferox, so it's still very much workable. But now that Angmo is doing some work with the runouts, well, Deptra going down, that is, well, not what you want right now, and that is the control of the outside windows, albeit that Stick did manage to find some return in investment here.
Yeah, I mean, Stick trading one back certainly helps a lot. Nasty's actually been doing pretty well in the previous few rounds.
Oh, okay, we're back. Okay, we're back.
Yeah, it's all right, it's all right. Hold your breath.
Interestingly enough, there's still 45 seconds left to go, and Ferox did take the control of the banana as well as the front desk, so they might have some good ground, but Hills just doesn't care. He just white swings and gets a double kill before being faded out. So
Flatty, though. Maybe he does have some little magic dust in his pocket. No, just kidding. Oddity, gonna bring it to overtime. They're actually doing it again, and I'm kind of glad I didn't disagree with you before. I can't believe it's actually happening again. I think Ferox can't believe it either.
overtime, boys and girls, is coming in full swing.
And once again, we get to have Oddity on 2 of the 3 rounds on defense again. Defense has been pretty amazing for them.
Amazing is probably an understatement, considering that they just managed to pull a double comeback on both of those maps.
So all things considered, I'd say they've got the side pick they want. They're fine going on defense here. Ferox, they've been struggling to make it work on attack. They've been throwing things out like Blitz, which is one of the few things that did work, but hasn't really since then. Oddity kind of have their number on it.
I don't think that Blitz choice will work here.
Attackers need to
I don't think it's working anymore.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to work. It was a kind of one of those one-time tricks that did work out, but the moment Oddities kind of figured it out, it was pretty much all a sealed deal. This time, Ferox won't be bringing in a Kali for the attack of the upstairs, albeit that she had some success in opening up those castle barricades remotely, but bringing in an operator just to deal with some of those castle barricades, I don't think it's too viable, really.
Yeah, I feel like I just didn't find enough value apart from that very first kill earlier on. But it's not going to be here in the first round of overtime. Ferox
5 seconds to
is
go.
going to be going back to what they've been used to.
You know what keeps on bugging me, like a bit of a question here.
Yeah, go ahead.
With Nook being banned out, I'm now curious if we would have been able to see some really nice Nook flanks from either one of the teams.
Well, I feel like someone was worried about someone else doing those flanks and they wanted to take it out.
Because it is quite a rarity for us to see a Nook play to come out. And while she doesn't really bring a whole lot of utility to the board, as a lurking fragger, she could be very much amazing. So now I'm kind of curious how it would have gone down should Nook would not have been banned, but
you don't get that. You're not lucky enough.
Yeah, I'm not lucky enough just yet, so this is rather a discussion for a later match. But Angmo, once again, the lurking roamer has been pretty much the biggest pain in the pantry of Ferox.
Pain in the pantry. That's a new one. I like it. I'm going to use it. Angmo though, yeah, and once again, he opens the pantry door wide and says, "Oh yeah!" and opens the first round of overtime with a great kill onto Oda.
Nicely done. Good roam overall. And doing exactly what he's pretty much been tasked for. Just go roam, go frag, and well, exactly that's what he does. And quite an impactful frag nonetheless as well. Also a sledge out of all the operators.
Yeah, that's going to feel a little rough as well to not have that sledge. Really wanting to have the breach over here on Ferox. Each attack round has been super weak so far coming out from them. Not quite enough. Oh, Mims though has taken a good amount of health. And now he's cowering here. Trying to find his way out of trouble. He may be able to do it, but looking for that backup, but he's a lone defender here and needs the rest of his team.
Yeah, his position is still very much powerful. He can execute it, and right now Hang actually is battling with Deptra right at the lobby entrance, and so many people being put down, but oh, there is a trade. Okay, Deptra does manage to find a double kill, but so is Mims actually. So in a 3v1 situation right now, Stick is in a very tough position as he needs to rappel down, either get Deptra or try to go for the frags.
He's got a lot of work to do, and he's only got 30 seconds to do it here. So he's gonna have to rappel all the way down, find his way over to Deptra. I mean, and even then, does he really have the time to do all of this?
Well, they need to shift W right onto the side the moment they revive. Yeah, they have to rush very quickly. And right now, Deptra will be potentially going down to the Evil Eye that is going to be there, as there's no way really to deal with it. Another set of the Goo Mines is there, and there's the opening of the Evil Eye. The few P's coming out.
I mean, the Evil Eye is doing a lot of good work, but with 2 seconds on the clock, that's got to be it. And Oddity taking the first round here in overtime.
Getting the match point as well in the overtime. Things are looking extremely rough here for Ferox, considering that they are on the precipice of losing the whole set of series after getting oh so close on both maps.
Well, just like before, we get to go all the way back to Oddity being on attack. Ferox over on defense. They had a strong defense. They were looking great at the first half of the map. And even on map 1, their defense looked good. So overall, Ferox looking like a very strong defensive team. Oddity just looking like they're stronger. But on attack, it's a bit of a different story. So Oddity only won 2 of their attack rounds.
This could very much go into full set of rounds once again here, Matt, considering that, well, while Ferox weren't able to close out Villa, boy oh boy were all of those rounds, especially in overtime, close. So could be a repetition here of the very similar events here, yes, especially with the fact that Oddity are bringing in a double breach. Will Ferox, though, reinforce the 2 hatches that are at the tellers and the elevators? Now, that is the bigger question here, because that was the preferred point of entry for Oddity before.
Yeah, well, I mean, Ferox, they've had quite a lot of rounds to play against Oddity so far, so they know how these guys like to play. They've had plenty of experience here. So, again, back over here, we're back to Oddity holding the stairs, getting it all completely set up. And they're also still here on match point too, so could be looking to just win the round right here and now, Oddity.
That would be the most optimal for them right now, because closing it out in a 2-0 fashion is certainly going to be quite a morale boost for them going into the further matchup, if they will win and will go against Sinister. So right now, this could be quite the tiebreaker here.
Well, I mean, Ferox.
Well, not the tiebreaker, but the. Actually, I'm just gonna stop there.
Just stop there?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Ferox looking to at least tie things back up after they've been broken. Bring it all the way to round number 15, just like we saw in Villa.
I mean, this could very much happen. Oddity's offense, like you mentioned before, was very shaky.
It was also a lot slower.
It was also a whole lot slower. Yeah, that is correct. Nasty. Looking like he just might see if he can get Soggs' help to hold down the stairs in the server and whilst attempt to go in for the breach, but instead it will be Hills. Getting rid of that hatch, we don't need it. Just gonna apply some pressure from there. And interestingly enough, all the Ferox players that were in service actually forfeited that position. So now Deptra is in the place where he really just, the only thing that he can do is to deny the inevitable.
Halfway through the round, Oddity starting to peak. Deptra getting pinned down just a little bit, but can retreat if he needs to, running down the ADS. Still waiting for it. There's quite a lot to take down in here, but he's going down for the peak, but gets shot back in return. Hill straight away onto that one, winning that duel. Well, 2v1 duel, I guess.
Very good peak and very good bait as well by Oddity, but right now their main concern here is going to be that very popped mirror window, considering that through it you can see very clearly as to when the Thermite is going to be going in for the for the breach. So interesting how will they approach this.
This is such a powerful position, right? You gotta deal with it at some point. Stick is just gonna be like, oh, okay, that's how you deal with it.
That's how you deal with it exactly. Sogs, fantastic pixel angle will be coming out here as Oddity now looking right at the potential win here and win of the series.
So 25 seconds to go. 2 defenders remaining. Vladdy and Oda looking to do everything they can here. The diffuser is going down. They take it away. Oddity with one more defender in their way. They take it out here. 2-0 the overtime, 2-0 the series, and take out their opponents here. Wow, Oddity. I mean, it was a close one. And I didn't believe in you at the first half of map 1. I didn't believe in you in the first half of map number 2. But Oddity, probably the comeback kings.
Yeah, at this point, the comeback kings indeed. Coming back from a firstly 5-1 deficit on map number 1 and then 4-2, well, actually make it 6-2 deficit.
Because they kept going.
Map number 2. They kept on going, yeah, and my goodness, that was just absolutely phenomenal. The way how the renewed squad, with the way how Hills is now a part of the core squad, has just been absolutely phenomenal.
Oh man, Hills, I mean, if I could give out an MVP, Hills popped off.
I will be jiggling in between Hills and Mims because Mims did showcase us quite some fantastic plays on map number 1 as well as occasionally on map number 2. But overall, yeah, I gotta give it to probably Hills as he was probably the more consistent one out of all of them.
I think we also just got to see more Hills, to be honest.
True.
But there it is, though, guys. That's the results coming out there. 2-0 for Oddity, moving along in the winners bracket. What a great result. Sending Ferox down to the losers bracket as well, giving them a very hard matchup against the PC 419. But here are your results for today. Oddity with a 2-0 against Ferox. And then, of course, off in the background there, August did have to forfeit their match, and so PC419 will take that one by default, move along the losers bracket. And so, there we have it, taking a look at the losers bracket. And so, with that win, Oddity will move on to face off against Team Sinister, and then down below, Ferox facing off against PC419 with their only life left in the lower bracket.
Honestly, I'm quite keen for the next week because both Skyfire versus Bizarre and Ferox versus PC419 are promising to be quite the barn burners, considering that, well, Ferox, I would sure hope that they would still have some fire left in them, whereas Skyfire versus Bizarre, this is going to be quite a battle in my opinion, because both of those teams can get quite unpredictable on some of the plays.
It's going to be a super hot matchup, but guys, let's take a look at the matches we're going to be seeing next week. Because, of course, he talked about the matches are going to be really fun to watch. I mean, Skyfire versus Bizarre, definitely one that's being talked up quite a lot. And we do get to see that one next week, along with Ferox and PC419. So, as you can see, there in week number 5. So if you had to pick one, right? Well, here we go. You can see the matches here. Skyfire versus Bizarre and Ferox versus PC419. Which one's going to go the distance? Which one's going all the way?
Honestly, I'm tempted to say both of them, really.
They really do look like
they really do look, yeah, like they both can get really, really close to each other, but also both of the matchups can get closed out on the 2-0 fashion, really, because PC419 showed us before against Sinister where they were able to show some great potential in just coming back, and well, against Ferox, this is going to be their main kind of weapon, just the comeback machine, whereas Skyfire versus Bizarre, it's rather the dark horse, their unpredictability versus the way how Bizarre has the controlled aggression, that very coordinated play going so far for them.
All right, well, 2 really great matches, so make sure you tune in for that one. But that is all of our Rainbow Six today. So before we end the show, I just want to ask final thoughts on today. I mean, we got to see some new operators. We got the new spectator mode. How cool is that?
Yes, honestly, I'm in love with the new spectator mode. It gives so much information for us, for you viewers as well, just to see how the overall picture is unraveling here right before the push, even during the match itself. So honestly, I love it. And for the Ferox versus Oddity, massive congratulations, first of all, to Oddity for 2-0, and an unlucky loss for Ferox as they got really, really close to closing it out, but unfortunately just didn't have it to finish it off.
Yeah, heart does go out to them, but Oddity taking the win. Got to feel stoked about that one. But guys, like I said, that's all about Rainbow Six for today. So make sure you tune in next time, because we'll be back with more games and more esports and so many more victories. See you then.